Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Edmund, your host for the next few hours, along with Mike.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, too. And Nick is here.
Back to you.
And Steve is here.
Good morning.
Good morning. Our number is 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And this morning's show is being brought to you by thatvidblasterguy.com, Tom Sinclair, and by Adamus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals.
Like me.
Like you.
Expert.
And because, are you guys watching the stream?
No, let me. I have it up.
Since you want me to...
That looks good.
Since
that looks good.
Well, yeah, but you are on the right side since you wanted
That's
me...
fine.
All right. Fine, if
Fine.
you want to be. I just want you to make sure that
Fine,
you're not centered.
Fine. Fine.
Hang on. Let me just check the date with you. It's July 13th, isn't it?
Today is July 13th.
Yeah, I can't hear Steve that well.
Yeah, Steve's a little low.
He is. Okay, so let me do this. Steve, talk.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
There
6,
you
7,
go.
8, 9, 10.
Yeah, I had to raise the accent. Like, I forgot to do it first.
Oh,
How dare you?
Okay.
I very dare you.
Good Sunday morning.
Oh, hot dog.
You know, I want to try something, Mike, and I want you to
Oh,
tell
no.
me.
Uh-oh.
Okay, how do you hear this?
I don't get it.
It's low. Very low.
Okay, hold it.
I don't get it.
Little
That's
higher.
good.
Wow, so every channel that's going to be talking, I need to get to 12 o'clock.
Correct.
Okay.
Can we go that long, I ask myself.
Do what?
It's
Can we
painful
go that
sometimes.
long, I ask myself.
All right. That's fine. All right, done. All right. And good morning, everybody in the chat. Let's see. Nick, I'm getting used to this.
Getting used to having me on the show finally?
To
All right.
to have you here.
All right.
You're asking for it.
Why? What did I do? What are you
No, I'm getting used to this
Hang out.
hangout.
It's good. It's
to
much
do
easier,
it-
right? You don't
to
have to
do-
worry. Mike doesn't have to be on the camera for half the show.
Why not?
Yeah,
Mike,
that hurts
Mike,
the show.
as long as Mike talks, she needs to be on the camera.
Well, the problem is when Mike wasn't talking, he was on the camera.
What
Yeah,
he's
I
saying is
know.
I should talk less.
Yes, that was. So, and I can mute Mike now. So,
Rage quit. Rage
for ex-
quit.
for example, if Mike is saying something I don't like, I can just click that, and now he's muted, and I don't have to listen to him anymore.
Can I unmute? Oops. Can I unmute?
No,
No,
you
huh?
cannot. It's not a democracy.
Wow.
Well, don't let the power go to your head, Nick.
It already has. Steve, I'm sorry.
Well, turn it back
Don't.
on.
Steve, I wish I could unmute you, or I could mute you. I can mute Amnon too.
Can you unmute Mike?
No, he has to unmute himself.
That's the other side. Yeah.
Oh, no, he's not. Now
Oh,
he's not
really?
playing that.
So in the
No,
hangout,
he can unmute himself. He's,
no,
he's-
but I mean, you can mute somebody, but you cannot unmute them.
yeah. So the whole point of muting in the hangout is,
Interesting.
for example, if Mike wasn't an audio expert and had a lot of background noise, and he steps away from his computer, and there's animals screaming in the background, that I can mute him, and then when he gets back, he'd have to unmute himself.
Very, very interesting.
Yes, I guess it is a bit interesting.
Okay. See, guys, learn something every day.
Yeah.
Yepers. Uh-huh.
Well, none. We've only been using it 2 years.
I know, but I mean, did you ever? I never muted somebody.
We had to
Oh,
mute Sean all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather bad.
Well,
Just
So-
kidding, Sean.
I have to buy carbonite today.
I bought it last week.
Today's the last day of my trial.
No, it works.
Yeah. Well,
I did a backup of my daughter's hard drive. She had 200 and some gigabytes worth of data on the hard drive, including her old hard drive copied over to her new hard drive. We did the carbonite backup, and it was about 30 gigabytes.
mine, I have 184,000 files backed up on carbonite.
In fact, I haven't tried to log in to hers. I wonder if I wrote down her password.
So you like it, Nick, huh? It's a good feeling.
I don't like it, but I have no choice, so...
You should like it. You're going to love it the first time that you need to get something.
Yeah, you're right. I will.
Yep.
But I took it to my office and left it running overnight because we have 50 megabit upload there, and it was done the next morning.
There you go.
Are you saying they don't throttle you on the upload?
No, but if they have a lot of people uploading at the same time, it will be throttled, yes.
I thought that they limit you to something.
Well, I'm sure they did it when they got started. They probably wanted to get it done as fast as possible now. It's my guess.
Yeah, and other services probably do allow you to go faster so that in order for them to stay competitive and people not complaining about them. Yeah, yeah.
So I'm looking at her online backup now.
All right.
26,246 files, 18.89 gigabytes. And this is all that it was backed up from a 200 gigabyte data store. Which says to me she's got a lot of, and that includes pictures, which indicates to me she's got a lot of movies on there.
Possibly.
Because even though you can tell it to back up movies, I don't think that's very smart.
No, it does not back up movies automatically.
No, it does not. You have to tell it to, but I think you can tell it to. Is that not correct?
You can tell it to back up any file you want. Like, there's lots of files I didn't like. I have like the Android SDK is like 40 gigabytes, and it's tried backing that up. I was like, no, we're not doing.
I thought by default, it's been so long now since I started, but I thought by default it backs up your My Documents.
It does.
And if there's a movie there?
No.
No, it will not back up any video files.
Nice. Okay.
Larger than something.
Okay. All right.
I don't remember, to be honest with you. So it's a nice benefit.
Yes, it is nice. And like I said, the first time you're going there to get a file because you needed to restore it, you're gonna say, "Oh, thank God."
Thanks, Hamnon. That's what I'll say.
It will happen.
Oh, I'm sure it will happen.
And
I'm sure
it's
it will happen.
that's the whole point here.
I
Anybody?
had my power flickered yesterday again for the nth time in the last 8 days.
Oh, no, I didn't follow this. Was this on the show last week?
I don't recall.
Oh, okay. So explain a little bit more. 8 days it's been doing this?
Well, the power.
I don't know. In our area, it's been doing it. You're right, Mike. Yeah.
Even yours?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, what happens is that this goes way back to where I've accused the power company of not spending money doing preventative maintenance, so that the first time a wind blows, we get a power flicker or interruption, and you call the company and they treat you like Time Warner, and it's their monopoly. They don't have to do anything. So I eventually reported them to our state utilities commission. And contrary to what any utility in North Carolina tells you, they do not like being reported to the Utilities Commission. Every time they get a report, every time they get a complaint, they have to complete paperwork and fill it out and send it back telling why the complaint happened. Was the customer right or wrong? If the customer was right, what did you do to resolve the problem? So they'll say, well, here's the number if you want to call them, but they don't like for you to call them. And the beautiful part about it is you can do it all over a telephone call. You don't even have to fill out a 26-page document to try to get the government to do something.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. And so anyway, it's a number of years ago I called them, and then all of a sudden they call me back wanting to know what they can do to make me happy. And I then unloaded on them, telling them I understood how power distribution works. I understand why electricity is flowing at one moment and not another moment, and that I was really tired of this happening. One guy actually had the gall to say, "Why don't you get a UPS to back it up?" I said, "Why don't you provide the power I pay you to provide?"
What an ass.
Yeah, so they got to work, and he called me back that night, and he said, "Well, we found the problem." What is it? We have squirrel cages on our distribution transformers. Sure enough, the distribution transformer near your house, a squirrel had eaten through the metal such that there was a hole in the squirrel cage, and we found some former squirrels in there that have been causing you problems. Okay, great. Glad you did your preventative maintenance and solved the problem. And so then the guy says, "Well, look, instead of calling the Utilities Commission in the future, let me give you my telephone number and email address. You call me directly, and we'll see if we can't solve these problems in the future." All right, so another year goes by, and I call them, and they get out, and they look around, and they find some problems and minor things. And then another year goes by, and I send them an email. This guy's no longer in this area. He's been transferred around.
To the commission we go.
Well, here we go. I mean, then I finally get up with somebody and I said, "Look, this is not a threat. I don't know how to navigate these dire straits you call your company. What I've done in the past is since I can't reach anyone who can provide any solution to my issue, I just start with the Utilities Commission, and they seem to be able to find the right person. So what do you suggest?" "Oh, wait a minute. Let me connect you with someone." So I end up being connected with the guy who has taken the place of the former guy who's the supervisor for the area. And he checks it out, and he wants to be a little argumentative. Then we have a nice, frank discussion about where I stop as far as requesting service. And he gave me his email address, and for a while he was responsive. I contacted him about, 3 or 4 months ago, and he looked into their logs, and they can tell, a flicker of 1 second shows up in their logs. He called me back. He said, "I see your power flickered at 4:10. It flickered again at 3:17 in the morning. It was out for 4 seconds." I said, "Okay, so what are you telling me?" "Well, the first one was because of a car wreck on Kildare Farm Road that hit a power station." And,
of course.
And these things are all true, and I understand that. And one of the comments, again, that they tried to sneak in during the conversation is, "Look, we can't guarantee you power 100.0% of the time. That's not practical. There are things that happen. There are people who run into transformers. Power lines have tree limbs fall on them despite our best efforts. Ice, snow." I said, "Got it all." I said, "If you will check your logs, you will notice that I only complain when it's nice, bright, sunshiny, and my power flickers. I don't do it during inclement weather or hurricanes or tornadoes." And so, you just have to learn how to talk with them and disarm them. So anyway, what I'm getting to is, Friday I sent an email to my contact over there. He didn't respond. Saturday I sent a second email. This time it says "second request" in the subject line. Still no response. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He's on vacation, doesn't forward his email to anyone. Therefore, he'll probably be back on Monday, and he'll respond then. But that all gets to my power flickered yesterday long enough for my server to reset. When I went over there and powered it up this morning, it said that there was that check disk was running on Drive E. So I let it run. It didn't find anything. I rebooted. Everything came up and worked fine. But I don't like that. The weather hasn't even been so hot that the system should have been stressed, in my opinion.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right.
I don't know of any, and giving them the benefit of the doubt, I can't think of a reason why I should be okay with the power flickering.
It shouldn't be.
The only reason I'm not complaining is because everything is on a UPS, so it's the only thing that get screwed up in the process here when the power goes out is the motion sensor light outside. I don't know if all motion sensor lights are like that, but if you switch it off and right back on, it's a feature that allows you to leave the light on all the time. Mm-hmm. And if I you get up in the morning and I see it through a crack in the blinds when I'm sitting in the living room. I said, "Oh, okay, there was a flicker tonight." But during the day, I mean, I see it because the UPS goes beep.
Those are little brownouts. I don't even count
Well,
those.
no, this. I don't. It may be brownout.
That is,
but
even the
it's-
lights don't go all the way out.
But the lights do flicker.
They flicker, but if you on something about half of them, they don't go all the way out. They actually go to about half intensity.
Okay, that's possible. And I attributed this now. You came from the wrong direction yesterday, or from the other direction yesterday. Did you come from the Beltline, or you came from?
I did.
Oh, so they build over there now, like
Yeah. So what are they doing? Cutting your power lines?
So
every
I
other
don't
day?
know if it's always been like this. Our area has been developed throughout the last 20 years, and every time there's construction, there are problems with power, and it's just something that you can't help. It would happen, like you say, if
Well, actually,
people
you
are
can
working
help it.
there.
I've had this discussion with power people, and they say, "Oh yes, these contractors come in,
Yeah.
and all they're supposed to call 811 to get us, or 511 or whatever it is, to get us to come out and to scope these lines out. And what they will do is these idiots will take these backhoes, dig into the power lines, and boy, sometimes it's fireworks. These guys are going to get killed. But what are we supposed to do?" What they don't tell you is the reason, other than the stupidity of taking a backhoe and hitting a power distribution line. Every time they go out and repair these things, they have to put in splices and
Right.
junctions. Every time they add one, they lower the integrity of
Correct.
the connection.
Correct.
And a lot of times when they come out and find a perpetual problem with your power, they dig it up and they found a bad splice.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, so it's been a nuisance, but not a problem yet.
So,
And peop-
Steve, I'm curious how your power is in the UK.
We occasionally get. It depends. It's normally when lots of people turn their kettles on and things in advert periods and stuff. You might get a flicker of power. It very rarely goes off, but it usually sort of sometimes you'll see a flicker in the lights and devices. But it's normally just at peak times where everyone sort of rushes out in the advert break or after a show that's popular to flick the kettle on.
I have no problems with power. I used to. It's
Are
been
your-
surprisingly.
Are
What?
your lines in your city and around, are they in the air or are they buried? Do you know?
The ones in our neighborhood are buried because this neighborhood's probably is like less than or a little more than 15 years old.
Okay.
But out on the main road, it's all
Yeah.
so it's all poles.
How
And
about
even,
you?
Even
Go
go
ahead.
No.
How about you, Steve?
Yeah, all the electricity comes in under the ground. It's transported from town to town on pylons across the countryside, but and some of it goes underground as well. But the majority in towns, it doesn't come in unless it's a really old property. It might come in up a telegraph pole and then across to the property. But the vast majority now are all underground.
Yeah, there's pluses and minuses to both. I mean, underground, they dig it. Above ground, limbs fall, trees fall, ice. It's so. I mean, in general, I would like it to be underground because the times when somebody digs are a lot farther than limbs or ice forms on lines. So.
Yeah. But see, in the winter, the winter is when we experience the most power outages. 'Cause especially when you get some good ice.
Yeah, well, in your area especially too.
Yeah, it'll pull the trees right down on the lines. But
Yeah.
thunderstorms, very, very rare that we lose power from thunderstorms. It may flicker. But it's normally the winter. If we lose power, it's if we get a really bad ice storm. Snowstorms don't really do it either. It's got to be something like an ice storm.
Now, you were born in the house you're in, right?
Correct.
Was there a generator there from day one?
No, we had a generator
Because
the two sump pumps in the basement overflow within 5 minutes of the power being out
okay,
and totally ruin everything that's down there.
yeah.
What do you mean you were born in your house?
I haven't lived in another house.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean
Is
he
that-
knows how. I mean he's been there from the beginning, so
Yeah.
yeah. That's the thing is that in most cases people get a generator after a catastrophe.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really a catastrophe. It was just like, all right,
Well, it is. Well, it wasn't for you, but I'll bet you it was for your parents.
No, it wasn't that long ago. It was 2008 is when we had that big ice storm.
Yeah.
But also, your area has a lot of ice storms compared with down here, so
yeah,
your utilities are designed to take more abuse than ours are.
Hopefully.
see, but you guys have the heat that we don't either. Like you guys will have weeks of 90 plus when we get those, but it's not as common.
Right, but that is a capacity issue, not a durability issue. You've
Okay.
got the crippling ice storms that we only have occasionally. You have them regularly.
Yeah.
That's a big difference. That's a different design specification for the system than we have, so that's probably why you don't have as much of an issue. If we had the kind of ice storms down here that you have up there, we would be without power half the day.
But it's weird because, for example, my grandparents, they lose power very often. Like, the wind will blow on a sunny day and they don't have power. So, and they just live on the other side of town, but it's, their house is much older and everything is above ground and everything. But I don't know, it's interesting. I think it all depends on where you live in the area.
Yep. Every area has its own
Yeah.
problems.
But surprisingly, like the thing Mike's describing, I mean, we never have that. Power never flickers here.
No.
Well, it should never flicker here.
How old is your house?
20,
It has nothing to do with that, Nick.
26
No.
years.
No, I'm wondering like how the house was built 26 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's somewhat of a modern neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, that used to be a 26-year-old house was an old house. Now most of the houses around here are that age. They haven't built a lot lately.
Yeah. So the stuff in the neighborhood isn't like 70-year-old.
No, and our utilities are underground here.
Yeah.
That's not true throughout the city. A lot of the power is overhead here.
Interesting. Okay.
Again, for the same reason that I was just mentioning, it's not as much exposed to as much inclement weather as you guys have. I mean, it would be insane for you guys to have it overhead because of all the power line. And every time we get an ice storm, we have lines that fall and 14,000 people without power for 2 days.
No.
Amnon, what was it that we had 10 years ago? What was it? It was more than that. Was a hurricane that came through that knocked everybody's power out for so long?
There was Fran. That was over 10 years ago. But then there was an ice storm that knocked it for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Summertime.
So it had to have been Fran.
Okay. We were without power for 10 days.
Yeah.
Is that the one where you were? I think you told me this before. You were driving down the street and other people had power, and the power company was just sitting there doing nothing.
Well, that's not quite the way it was, but yes, that's the incident. What would happen is after about 5-6 days, we could walk out on our front porch at night, look around, and see people from our porch who had power all around us. The power company had law enforcement. The office for the power company is 1.5 blocks from my house. But things were so bad, people were so mad at the power company, it's Carolina Power and Light at that time, that the police department had police cars blocking the entrance to the office. if you wanted to get past that police barricade to go in there to do something like pay your bill, you had to show your identity. You had to show a power bill. They would look at it to make sure it was due because they were concerned of people getting violent with them. And what happened was, and there's a lady in our neighborhood who operates an in-home daycare. I mean, she was out of business because she had no power. And for some reason, I wasn't here at the time, but on the 10th day, one of our neighbors, I don't even know who it was, but the lady was standing outside and she saw a CP&L power truck coming down our street. She went out in the road and stood in the road so that the power truck would have to stop or run her over. And she walked up to the guy and said to him, she said, "Look, there's power there, 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 there. We've been without it 10 days. You guys need to do something." He said, "Oh, yeah." He walked over to the transformer, found a connector that had been pulled loose, pushed it together, and we had power.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
It's what happens when you have a monopoly with no profit incentive. That's what socialism does to you.
Yeah, and if the same thing would have happened today, it would even be worse, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, Roger.
It could have been in 1996, and that's probably true because I was thinking it was at one of my former jobs when it happened, and that's when it was 1996.
Yeah, we had a generator back then.
You have your diesel generator?
No, it was it was actually a small. It was a 4,500 or 5,000 watt little portable gas generator. But it worked. It kept the refrigerator, the lights. I don't know. Today I would probably try it. We have a well, so I didn't know that it's going to. I didn't want to damage it, so I never tried to use the well, the pump, to power the pump. But our neighbor across the lawn was on the city, so I just took two garden hoses, changed the connector on one, and connected their water to our water outside, and we had water. But if you're in an area, first of all, I would say it like this: if you're in an area that is prone to power outages, I'm sure by now you probably have a generator.
Generators are very expensive, Amnon.
Not necessarily. You don't have to get a whole house generator.
No, even the portable ones, you can
buy
$1,000 on them.
You can buy a 5,000 watt generator that will put lights and refrigerator, all the essentials, for about $300-400. We ran the internet center on one of those back then. Of course, I had to get up in the middle of the night at certain times to go and fill the tank because it's not a big tank. But you can do that. To have what you have at home that comes on by itself and powers the whole that's expensive. And another part of the expensive part of it is the installation of that thing.
Yeah.
It's not simple. But this, to have a portable with a cable that you can just...
No, but we have one of those as well. They're very useful.
We actually just had an extension cord with the power strip at the end of it that we brought into the kitchen and plugged the refrigerator into it and a floor lamp, and I can't remember what, but there was we didn't have air conditioning and none of that stuff. But if it's a lot of flickering, like Mike was talking about, that is just brownouts, and a lot of people work from home, then you should have a good size UPS and a good, not just the $25 or $30 UPS. You want something that will regulate the utility power.
A power conditioner.
Power conditioner. And I can't remember what they call it, Mike. What is it? That it's a big transformer that even if there's a brownout, it brings it back up.
I don't know what that is.
For a second or
they
so.
have an auto-adjusting transformer. Oh, it's called an autoformer. That in some cases, but I don't believe any residential uses that.
I have. I mean, there are small units, 1,800 watts, that do that. I can't remember the name of it.
Well, I mean, Charles is talking about a power inverter that operates off DC and supplies continuously.
Well, that's UPS.
No, power inverter is a little different from UPS. Technically, a power inverter is probably within a UPS, but a UPS plugs into 110 to maintain 110. A power inverter plugs into a battery to provide 110.
Okay, there are two different types of UPS. There's an online UPS, like the UPS that I have here for the rack, and the UPS that I have at TW Telecom for the rack. These are online UPS. They always work off of the batteries. The only reason they plug in is to charge the batteries. So there's no switch. There's no switch over time. It's always off the batteries. And the cheaper ones are the ones, like you said, they plug into 110 to supply 110, and when the 110 goes out, it starts generating it off of the batteries.
Yes, that's
what
I have.
Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that in this case, it can go like down and up. You bought one that is very good, Nick, because it does have that ability to maintain it.
Yeah.
The smart ups.
I even tested it and it works fine. I just pulled the plug in.
But you can buy the ones for $20 and $30, cheap ones. I was really thinking for a while there, if Mike, you get the Harbor Freight?
Unfortunately.
In there, they have those inverters for 2,000 watts continuous, 4,000 peak. I mean, these are made for these
Tell you
people.
What, Amnon,
Do I?
you buy one and put it under test, and if it provides half of that, I'll pay for it. How about
Well,
that?
that's not the point here.
Well,
The
it is
point,
the
no,
point.
I mean, that's what they said that it's rated. It doesn't matter.
Right.
The
It's
the point here is that you have to get the right charger. These are not made for the house. These are made for a car. So those people can put those huge radios and boom box, boom, the bass things. It's not for operating at the house or operating tools off of. Of course you can, but then you have to get the right charger for it also. And it only works off of one battery, which is really hard for me to believe that they're generating, say, 1,000 watts off of one battery. I was thinking, because it's a lot cheaper than to buy a good size UPS, like 2,000 watt UPS.
There ain't no free lunch.
But yeah, there isn't.
I get free lunch.
No, you don't. You'll pay dearly.
That's right. Dr. John says most inverters won't run a motor. They're not
because
supposed.
Motors are inductive loads, and
They can run a motor with brushes, but not the inductive ones. I don't know how to. Yeah, the inductive.
Right.
So yeah, but every UPS has an inverter in it, so to speak, that changes DC to AC. But yeah, so you should have a generator if you have anything important, especially like if you have an elderly parent that relies on some equipment that they have to have electricity. It's cheap insurance, and just once a week, once a month, whatever. Go out there, start it, let it run for about
not once a month.
What?
You don't need to do that thing once a week or
Yes,
once a
you
month.
do.
Well,
too.
you
Once a month at least.
Yeah, you should. I mean, I do the big diesel generator like every 2 weeks. I'll go and I'll let it run for about 5 minutes.
You can run it too little, but you can't run it too much.
Correct.
I've been there, done that. I had to put a new carburetor on my generator because I let it go so long that the gas varnished in the carburetor, even though I had run all the gas out of it.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of people don't do is when when we had gas generators, is don't switch it off by switching it off. When you're ready to switch it off after you test it, or even turn off the gas and just let it run, and when it starts sputtering, pull the choke, make it run high again, and just play with it, and that takes most of the problems away. But still, if you let it, if there's some left, that over time it will gum it up, and you're going to need to have a carburetor. Yeah, that's
what is this bell-shaped reservoir in the bottom of the carburetor
that's
called?
the bowl.
The bowl.
Yeah.
The problem is that even when you run the fuel out of the generator, there's still fuel in that bowl that can gum up the carburetor. So if you're going to store it for the winter, then what you should do is run the fuel, as I understand it, is the first thing is use Stabilo for your fuel.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is that after you run the fuel out of it and let it run down, you take that bowl off and empty the fuel out of it and then put that back.
Yeah, that's
the better thing to do is to run it once a month and make sure you don't let the gas stay in it over a year, even with the Stabilo in it. One other thing I've learned too recently is that it's really smart for you to find a station in your area that has ethanol-free fuel and make sure that you get the ethanol-free fuel for your generator. It costs a lot more, but it doesn't have the ethanol in it that creates problems for some of these smaller engines.
I never thought about it. That's a good point.
I've got a 5-gallon can of fuel that I filled up about 6 months ago, and there's about half of it still left. What we're going to do is pour it into our Jeep and burn it in that, and I'm going to take that can and go get ethanol-free fuel probably today or certainly this week. I haven't run my generator in a month, and I'm getting a little nervous about it.
Right, and you really don't waste any gas because, just like you said, if you should have some 5-gallon tanks, jerry cans that have gas in it in case it's an extended outage, and you can always rotate them and just pour it in the car. Let the car mix it with some other gas and go ahead and fill up fresh one.
You know, it's hard to get a really good gas can these days. My wife went over to Walmart, bought a gas can. That thing is a piece of junk.
Yeah.
It has a safety valve on it that you have to almost have two people to pour gas out
is
of.
Is it the one where you have to like pull down the tube to get it to release the gas?
Exactly.
Yeah, that thing's a pain.
Exactly. And I'm going to get rid of it. In fact, I'm glad you brought it up. I'm probably going to go over to some place like Northern Tool and Equipment and find a good quality gas can, because we end up throwing them away every few years for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I'm going to probably go find a good one, because my attitude, Amnon, you're talking about having fuel stored for long term. In your situation where you have a business to run, then that's you have to do that. And as your generator's diesel, is it not?
Yeah, I've got some 55-gallon drums full.
Because diesel fuel stores better than gasoline.
Yeah.
I don't understand why, but I'm sure there's a good explanation. So you're in better shape. I got news for you. I'm not going to have large stores of fuel around here, because if it turns out that I have to have it for that long period of time, I'm getting in the car and going somewhere where there's power. You can laugh.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I'm
Just
just
go to
not.
Ammon's house.
Well, absolutely. We were there last night.
There you go.
Mike, if you want to get good jerry cans, you get the NATO ones, the metal. And
Well, where am I going to get those in?
they are you can go to Coleman's Military Supplies, or you can go to Cheaper Than Dirt, and they're around $19 each. But these will last a lifetime unless you let them rust outside under the weather.
Well, that's the problem.
What?
That is, you're letting them rust.
Yeah, that if you let them rust, then forget about it.
I like the plastic ones. Remember when everything became plastic, we were whining about how, back in the old days, they used to be metal. Now it's plastic garbage.
Yeah.
There's some things for which plastic is extraordinary.
Absolutely.
And a gas can made of plastic with proper, and it's not, in our case, it's not even the quote-unquote can that it's the problem, it's the nozzle on it.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they're not standard. You can't do an Amnon and go make your own nozzle because none of the threads is standard, and it's a mess. You end up with the way this thing works to move it and store it, to be able to take the nozzle out of it. Because remember, when you store it, you turn the nozzle around and put it back into the can because it didn't seal. Now, theoretically, you can seal these so you don't have to do it. But it's just a mess. You get gas on your hands when you use it.
This is worse thing than getting gas on your hands.
I don't know.
919-518-9773. Computers took a voice on Skype.
So where are we going with motherboards and PCI connectors?
PCI slots, you mean?
How long before they will not be available?
They'll always be available.
You think so?
As a specialty motherboard.
Yeah, you have to buy a higher-end motherboard, but
Yeah.
it'll always be available. I'm certain of it.
Why, Mike?
Well, because I'm looking on eBay right now, there's a Delta 1010 LT sound card that uses PCI. There's not going to be a PCIe version, according to anyone who has responded to my request for information.
Right.
The PCI, the Delta 1010 LT sound card is an excellent sound card for internet broadcasting because you can have 4/5 input-output pairs of audio on a single computer. Theoretically, you could run 4 instances of Skype on one computer. You could have 4 guests, each with his own Skype connection on one computer, and have control over each individual audio. I mean, it's a great little card. I use them in all of my computers except one, and very pleased, very, very satisfied with it. I have a couple of spares. Amnon's got one he's not using, but all that is useless unless you have a PCI connector slot on your computer, which all of mine do.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same as if you needed a computer with an ISA slot.
Well, those have gone away, though.
Yeah, you're not going to find it. Well, you could find it, but you'll pay a lot for it.
And I agree with Donovan. I'm not sure that PCI will always be available, but bottom line is, I mean, what the heck, at our age, Amnon, we only got to have 1 or 2 more and we're done, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's some good things. I think there's always a silver lining.
Yeah.
And Nick is smirking there. All right, let's see. So let's take a little different direction.
All right.
Cyber forensics experts at the University of Massachusetts in Lowell have developed a way to steal passwords entered on a smartphone or tablet using video from Google Face-mounted gadget and other video capturing devices. The thief can be nearly 10 feet away and doesn't even need to be able to read the screen, meaning glare is not an antidote. The security researchers created software that maps the shadows from fingertips typing on a tablet or smartphone. Their algorithm then converts those touch points into an actual keys that they were touching, enabling the researchers to crack the passcode. They tested the algorithm on passwords entered on an Apple iPad, Google's Nexus 7, and an iPhone 5. So just by seeing the shadow of your fingers, they can figure out what you entered.
Swipe keyboard is the solution to the problem.
Swipe, or
Swipe, yes.
I mean, and this is, I mean, we were always talking about what is it? I forgot the name. Text capturing. I know that's not the word. The malware that capture what you're typing.
Keyboard logger.
Yeah, keylogger. But if you have the password saved and you just click, this one, nothing happens. They can't because you're not using the keyboard. It's actually taking the keyboard. That's a good way, but if somebody gets your phone or your tablet, they got your password. So again, it's two sides to everything. But hopefully they'll find out something, I wonder what would
happen. Has all your information anyway. What difference does it matter what your password is?
Yeah. I was reading something yesterday. It says that the NSA is recording and storing. They didn't say recorded and stored. Recording and storing 80% of all audio calls in the United States. 80% of all telephone calls that are just audio. I wonder if that means they are recording and saving 100% of video calls, but 80%.
I don't know. But think about this. I actually was doing some reading on this in the past week. I mean, without getting overly political here, because it's a bipartisan issue, it's not exclusive to the current regime. But the government is listening in on every phone call. Mm-hmm. That used to require a warrant.
Right.
Now they just ignore all that and do what the hell they want to do. There's something wrong with that.
But if you think about it, I'm not sure that they were getting a warrant even back 20, 30 years ago.
If they did not, what they learned was not admissible.
No. You see, but that's what I'm going at. They would go and they would listen. If they see that there is some substance there, then they go and they get the warrant and they keep on listening because they know, okay, yeah, we get more information. And at that point, it's admissible. But the fact is, they could have gone, and I'm sure they did, listen without a warrant. I agree with you. It would not be admissible, but they were listening. I mean, my concern is not whether it's what I'm saying is admissible in court or not. My concern is they're just listening to my conversations.
Well, they'll be bored stiff at listening to mine, but more power to them. I just object to having an expectation of privacy that's completely ignored by the government.
Yeah.
It's the same way I object to the IRS being able to get away with losing emails, and if the table were reversed, they put you in jail.
So
they should be held to a higher standard, not the same standard.
Netflix.
I've heard of them.
Flying through your new favorite series on Netflix is something you probably enjoy doing after a working day. But what if it was your working day? See, Netflix has a fancy recommendation engine that suggests movies and shows you might like based on your prior viewing habits. To do that successfully, it needs information from a special group of humans that goes beyond the basics like genre and other ratings. Taggers, as they're known, analyze Netflix content and feed their recommendation engine with more specific descriptors. If, for example, a film is set in space or a cult classic, in short, these people get paid to watch TV all day. And Netflix is currently hiring a new tagger in the UK. Does that mean they're only hiring one? Sounds like it. Steve?
There you go, Steve.
I've not seen anything about that, actually.
You have to go after them. Call them and say, I'd like to be a tagger. They're paying
Yeah,
you to
right.
watch movies.
Ideal.
Well, we're doing that in the U.S., but these people don't have to fill out any paperwork. They just sit on their butts and watch movies all day.
Yeah, which they do anyway, some of them.
Yeah. They just need to improve the reporting. They could save a lot of money.
So do you really think that we're going to get to the point of hitting caps when we're watching online
Well,
material before? I mean, before long, it's going to have to be no caps. I mean, I don't know that it's going to be in our lifetime, but it's going to get to the point. It's like it used to be. Even local calls used to cost you on the telephone. Today, you can talk. It's going to get to that point, but I wonder, but they're probably going to make a lot of money from caps to begin with, and then it's going to go away.
what do you think, Nick? This is going to impact you a heck of a lot more than it is us.
I have no clue what's going to happen with caps.
What would you guess?
I eventually guess they'll have to go away. Or if they don't go away, it's going to get to the point where.
The internet is useless.
Well, no, see,
Kinda.
and that's what I was going to say, but when new compression algorithms come out, maybe not.
Well, at some point they're going to reach a level at which the capacity exceeds the demand. I think that YouTube and Netflix certainly changed the equation that these companies were using to determine how much capacity they need. But now it's pretty predictable with Netflix how much bandwidth it's going to take to download a movie. We were looking at that before. What did we say? 2 gigabytes for the typical 1 hour show?
It was something, let's see.
It may be 2 gigabytes an hour, which would be about 1.7 gigabytes for the average 42-minute show, something like that, as I recall.
Okay, how can
So they'll come up with a normative
so it's
profile.
3 gigs per hour of HD.
3 gigs per hour, so it'd be about 2 gig per show.
Yeah.
Now, I've done some binge watching. I haven't done any this week, but I've done some binge watching. My normal internet usage was in the 250 gigabyte range. Once I started doing some of the binge watching, it went to 380. And because of the 4th of July break, I did some binge watching there, and I was headed for about 600 for the month. But since I haven't done much this week, I'm probably headed for another 350. But here's the point. It's just me watching the high bandwidth offerings on cable. My wife is watching, she gets the DVR from Time Warner, and she watches all her stuff. Using the DVR, I watch my stuff primarily using the internet. So my question would be, what if we didn't have the DVR box and she were watching everything over the internet? That usage would double. What about in a house where you have 2 kids and they have TVs in their own room and they are watching their own stuff on the internet in HD?
Yeah.
I just don't see how. And as I understand it, AT&T DSL has a 150 gigabyte cap, and their UVerse service has a 250 gigabyte cap.
So if you look at DSL, which would you'd probably get either low to medium, that's not even a gig an hour. You're not watching HD on DSL.
Sure you can.
No, I guarantee you Netflix will not let you watch HD on DSL.
Guarantee you it will.
You think so?
I know it will. On 6 megabyte download, why not?
No, I'm wondering if Netflix itself, it's like, so let's say if Netflix says like, all right, we don't have access to more than like 10 gigabytes or whatever, it will not load HD. I would be interested in seeing if they do.
Okay, who in chat has UVerse, and how well does it work with Netflix? I'm confident it works because there is a guy at my office who has UVerse at home, and he's very close to the central office, and he says he cannot tell the difference. He had Time Warner switch to UVerse for cost reasons. He says he cannot tell the difference, and he's an IT guy.
Cannot tell the
If you've
difference
got-
of quality.
Correct.
If he's
Yeah.
got really good DSL speeds, I'm sure it looks fine. But if you're on a 2 or 3 megabit DSL line, you're not loading an HD Netflix movie. There's just no way.
Well, let me be clear. I was referring to Uverse, so you still may be correct, but so I'm not asking anybody in chat about Uverse. I'm really asking about DSL. Does anyone who has DSL? Okay, so Donovan says that the company he worked for had a segment that was IPTV, and it went over DSL. Netflix worked fine.
Okay, well, maybe it will, but that
I
just
was-
seems stupid. You have a 150 gigabyte cap. If you watch a Netflix movie, you're burning 3 gigs an hour.
Yeah.
I was going to bring up something yesterday while we were watching Andrew.
Well, people don't know what
It-
you're talking about.
Well, Andrew went. You tell him.
Why don't you tell them, Nick?
No, why do I have to do it?
All right,
Because
Andrew
you're,
went-
You're the
There
new
you
guy. Nick gets to do it.
No, I don't want to do it.
You have to.
All right, so Andrew went to Twit yesterday. That's it. What else am I talking about? I
Right.
have no clue where Amnon's going with
And
this.
we were watching the drop cams.
All right, here. See, you guys, by golly, we have people here who don't know what we're talking about. Twit Network is Leo Laporte's major internet broadcasting network. And if you are in Petaluma, California, Laporte allows you to come over to sit in his studio and to watch him broadcast his show. It is a regular trek by many people who are in the broadcasting industry because it's like going to Disneyland for people in that broadcast industry. Andrew Zarian operates the guys from Queen's Network, gfqnetwork.com. He does a lot of the same types of things that Leo does. Leo considers him a competitor, and of course that's silly because they're not competitors. They do the same thing, but they both bring viewers to the internet. That being said, Andrew and his wife and Spencer and his wife are in California. They decided to go by Leo's studio in Petaluma. And it was really funny because our little group, we were monitoring things on the internet. If you go to Leo's Dropcam site, he has, I think it's probably 6 drop cams in his studio that are continuously feeding the internet. One of those drop cams is actually pointing to the reception area. Then they're in the various studios, each has its own drop cam. So what we're saying is that Andrew was, and you got to love technology. What we were doing is Andrew was texting us when they were about to arrive at the studio. We saw them get to the front door, sign in at the front desk, walk through one set to get to the broadcast, this part of the set that was being broadcast. Then once he got into the studio, we saw Leo talking to Andrew and introducing himself to the people with him and so forth. And what was just so funny is that we were able to monitor every step that went on virtually in real time. So anyway, that's what we were talking about.
Okay, so what I was going to say is I was going to bring up something. I was sitting there watching all the drop cams, and I was on the Hangout, and I was watching Leo. And I was saying, well, I mean, I wasn't watching Leo, I was mostly listening. I went between HD 400, 400 KB, right?
No, that's not HD, Amnon.
That's what it says there.
No, it says 480p. It doesn't say 400.
No, it says 400 bit, or
on bit gravity,
There's-
maybe?
I don't remember. The first one on the upper left is 400. The one next to it, bit gravity, is 1 megabit.
Oh, yeah.
So it's 400 kilobit.
It is.
Kilobit.
There you go.
And I blew it up to full screen. And I could not tell a difference. I could see every hair on Leo's head. I would go back and forth between 1 megabit and the 400. And I was trying to, and on a full-blown 22-inch monitor, I was trying to find somewhere where it gets softer.
Yes, there is. I just did it 10 seconds ago.
I could not. I mean, for my eyes, 400 was just as good as the 1 megabit.
Yeah, like for example, if you test it right now, they're showing text on a web page and you can't read it on 400K. It just looks like
I was reading and seeing everything, unless it was lying and it wasn't 400. But it was.
No, it's harder to
perfect.
read that text on 400. Plus, it macro blocks a lot more often.
So in many cases, like what Mike was saying, the reason I was bringing that up is because Mike was saying that guy was in IT could not tell the difference between what, Mike?
Uverse and Time Warner.
As far and the same quality,
same download, no buffering, none of that stuff. Not any worse.
Yeah,
than
that brought it. Reminded me that I was gonna go in and say it, but it wasn't the right time to talk about it because we were watching Andrew. Yeah. So I forgot to bring it up, but I left it at 400 and I was watching it in full screen when he was on camera and it was beautiful.
There's no question about it that Leo has mastered the art of getting the best picture at the lowest bandwidth.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone could be any better, doing any better. And Andrew was telling me last night, we were talking when he was on the way out to drink, and he was saying that just to walk in there and see the lighting that he has in that studio is just incredible. It's very difficult to imagine it being done as well as it was done.
It's a studio, and he's got professionals do that.
Yeah, so... lighting is critical, and I think what happens is that whenever the video that you originate, like we're doing here with a $50 webcam and my house lighting, you have to have better bandwidth to make that look good. If I had studio lighting and a quality camera, I could probably lower my bandwidth and have an equally as good picture.
Yeah.
So I have a question. I'm not sure this is the right group to ask it in.
Go.
It's a video question.
Video is not important.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out what the easiest way to do instant replay would be. And I'm not sure if anybody... I know...
VidBlaster.
Yeah, you say VidBlast, but there's... that's not going to work for what I'm trying to do here. But I know Tom Sinclair does the sports thing, and I know he uses VidBlaster, but I don't know if anybody else has ever done anything with live streaming of sports that's involved instant replay. But
is VidBlaster or nothing right now, though, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, with VidBlaster, it works if you're using VidBlaster to encode and stuff, but we wouldn't be using VidBlaster to encode, so the instant replay feature is kind of useless.
What do you mean?
Use it as an auxiliary service.
It's a possibility.
Can you work it in as just for replay? You switch over to the VidBlaster output.
What I was thinking. Well, let me tell you what I was first thinking. The replay would have to be SD. There's no way for us to do HD with it, unless I totally overthought something. So it would have to be we take an HD camera. So the camera that we'd be using is like a $5,000 camera for the main shot, and that would have an HD output going to the TriCaster, which would be a live HD camera. That camera also got an SD output, which I was thinking I could throw into like a Dazzle DVC-100 or another SD capture card. And when the play is getting ready to start, you'd have to have somebody that is like doing the replays. That would be like a job. You would start the replay. You'd click record. When the play is over, you click stop. And then I was thinking you just play it back like full screen, and then you just the computer screen is an input on the TriCaster, and you just kind of replay it like that. But let's see. So somebody's saying use vMix. Does vMix have an instant replay? Let me look at their feature list.
I don't know. I would like to think that they do at this point because Martin always looked at the others and tried to do better. But with VidBlaster, I never used instant replay,
Let me see if I.
but it's been doing it for so long, and so many people that are using sports, like Tom Sinclair and others, are doing it. That over the years, I'm sure it was tweaked and tweaked and tweaked to do exactly what they wanted to do. Those guys with sports.
Blaster, and we'll play around with that.
So
I don't see.
vMix does not.
I don't see it on their features list. They might do it. I just don't see it. Let's see. We've got some more things. Roger's saying they wouldn't be automated. Okay.
Here it is. vMix has replay. It's called video delay.
That's not necessarily replay. Like if we wanted to play something 4 or 5 times, that was another solution. I could just take Wirecast and delay the video by like 15 seconds, and that would solve the purpose. But we would like those clips if we wanted to throw together like a halftime show video or whatever. We would need to actually be able to start, stop, and do that stuff with the replay. I'm not sure if that's possible with vMix. So we wouldn't be able to use VLC because it's not necessarily an automated video. It would have to be something that would be live, and then you would have to start and stop it. So let's see. I'm installing VidBlaster right now. We'll see what happens.
Oops, Steve got disconnected.
He said he has to go.
Oh, I was trying to find. Okay. I would seriously, I would look into
because
VidBlaster just for that. Well, here's Roger saying, yeah, Cam Twist. I don't know.
Well,
you
it's not
used
a
that,
Mac,
didn't
so
you?
I'm not
What?
sure how No, I don't think Cam Twist doesn't do replay. Cam Twist is like Webcam Max. It's just a video.
You're talking about instant replay.
I'm talking instant replay.
Yeah.
XSplit could work. XSplit's not going to do it either.
Yeah, instant replay. It has to record it all the time for
no,
another
not
purpose.
necessarily. I have no problem with starting and stopping the recording. The thing is, we need an
but
we
you
need an
don't.
easy version to do it.
But
Like,
you
we
don't have
can't.
2 recorders.
Exactly. That's
This
that's the
is
thing.
literally 2 recorders. One recording the segment, and another recording is there in the background just for that purpose.
All right, so I'm inside. Okay, so I see replay and replay 3. Which one would I use?
Don't ask me. I have no idea.
All right, so
I
let's look at
never used it.
replay controller module. Add replay playlist. Okay, and
So it's
replay source. Okay. So what I'm going to do is
there are solutions out there.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure
Yeah.
out what the easiest way. Cam Twist yeah, Roger, we're not doing video automation. No, video automation is not what we're looking for. We need an instantaneous live replay. We don't have time for somebody to record the clip, find it on the desktop, throw it in
Right.
software, and play it back. It's not practical. I'm the only one that would be capable of doing it.
Yeah, you want something that when you
Yeah.
see the goal, then you can click a
It's
button and it plays it again for the last 10, 15, 20 seconds
Yeah.
to see how it arrived there. Yeah.
So let's see. Does VidBlaster work with the AverMedia card, Amnon?
Obviously, I'm using it. Well, yes, it does.
It does. Okay. All right. Give me like 2 minutes. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go try to throw my cable box on this.
Amnon, how much did you pay for your E107 Eliminator on-off power center DJ light controller 8
I
out?
think it was $18.
Wow,
I think it
35
was
now.
$40. No, it's not. Where are you looking?
eBay.
No, it doesn't have to be this particular. Just put in a rack mount switch bank or something like that. Because Andrew just got one. I think it was $24 or $25. It wasn't exact. I mean, it doesn't matter as long as it's switches.
Well, I understand that.
Oh, well, I've got I've got a store here, but I want Nick to be here too. That's mainly
Hello,
for him.
Bruce.
Well, Bruce.
The Bruce Meister. $29.95.
And you sorted it by price?
I did.
Interesting. Yeah, I got these about 2 years ago. I just installed that second one that you saw. Bruce, are you somewhere where you can join us for a while? Or you in the car? But I wouldn't know how to send you the link. Let's see, Bruce, do I have you here? Okay, you're not on Skype. Must be traveling or somewhere else. Well, if you start your Skype, you realize what we're doing now is actually, it's a hangout. There you are. Why don't I see you on Computers 2K now, though? I see you on Computer 2K Voice. It told me that... Come on, Bruce.
All right.
On Computers 2K now, it still says that you're offline.
Who are you talking to?
Bruce. On Computers 2K Voice, you're showing, but I don't have the... Okay, there you are. Oops. So it's now there. And...
Yeah, I found one of these strips, Amnon, for $30, but it's from New York, and you know how it is dealing with people in New York.
No, what do you mean, people from New York? Come on.
Supposed to get a rise out of Nick on that one. I guess he's not paying attention.
Oh, is that why you said that?
It is. Sean posted a chat with Time Warner overnight, and it's really short. Linda is the Time Warner representative. Quinn is the customer. Linda says, "Please check to see if you have access to the internet." Now, this is an online chat with Time Warner. And Linda says, "Please check if you have access to the internet." Quinn says, "Seriously?" Linda says, "Yes, please have a check." Quinn, "How would we be talking if I didn't have internet access?" Linda, "That is correct." Oh.
Geniuses. Oh. How can that be? Bruce says that this link told him the party was over. Let me capture it again.
Eiffel Spence is doing fine. He's in Alaska. He is watching all the mooses, driving buses, taking people near cliffs and valleys and all sorts of things. Word has it he is homesick. And considering how far away he is from home, I get that. He misses Time Warner.
Hey, Nick,
Hey, I'm not.
don't despair. Is there a glut of qualified American tech workers? Or isn't there? Some companies, like Facebook and Airbnb, are now effectively courting and recruiting high school students as young as 13 with promises of huge stipends and salaries.
Not me.
Are now effectively... Morning.
Morning. How are you?
All right.
Yes, this is Roger. I wanted to call in. Craig has got my attention on this. What exactly was he trying to do or accomplish?
All right. So we're trying to do for my high school. We're trying to set up a way to do the football games live during the year.
Right.
And a key part of doing live sports is to have instant replay. So we need to have a 1 or 2 click way to record, control, and just be able to work around instant replay. And we're not going to have time to record a clip, open it in VLC or Media Player Classic or whatever else, and make it go full screen.
Now.
It's not practical for what we're trying to do.
Of course not. Okay, I see now. I misunderstood the whole thing as to what you were trying to do. I don't know. I mean, that's to me. I mean, that's a pretty good question because I don't know right off the top of my head of and I'm not saying that there isn't any software out there that you could. There should be something out there that would be available to where you could do something like that. And if I ain't mistaken, you said something about if you did find something, just to bring it back in a live replay in standard, why couldn't you do high def?
Well, the only high def could be a possibility, but the problem that we have with high def is we'd have to have a high definition capture card, and I'm not sure if something like that is practical right off the bat. But it could definitely be high def. It doesn't need to be SD, but for trying to stay under a few $1,000s on a budget,
right,
SD is the only thing that seems practical. But so I currently have VidBlaster, so I'm trying to find. Oh, here we go. Here's a soccer match.
So VidBlaster has that availability.
Yeah. So what I'm going to try to do, Amnon, how do you do virtual video out in VidBlaster?
There's a module. You add a VVD.
What's it called? Output?
No, it's called VVD. If you click on modules,
I am on modules,
and it is called video out.
Okay, so
it's at the bottom, kind of 6 from the bottom.
Okay, VidBlaster VVD. So we want to send. What do you want? What do I send? The program.
The top one is what do you want to be seen. So it's whatever is in the program. So you set it up for program.
Okay.
And the bottom one is the display. Like for the Wirecast machine over here, it says display 2, which is the AverMedia. On the other one, it's VidBlaster VVD, which goes to the Hangouts. So
so let's see here. So there is that. Now if I select VVD and I click on. Cut.
So, and not to sound ignorant, but like the VidBlaster, then it has that capability, of course, like any other software, like Wirecast or whatever, to where it's actually going to be recording, and then it'll backtrack, say, like so many minutes in order to play that live replay.
I guess so.
Yeah,
I have no clue.
I think that's what it does.
Wow.
That's how they do instant replay, Roger.
Right. I never had, like when you do sports and stuff, of course, you would want that feature.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you never know. I mean, broadcasting video, that would be a great feature to have, but I never really thought of that. I mean, as far as, VidBlaster having that capability, I never knew that.
Right.
So I'm
Alright.
trying to figure out how to.
All right, I'll let you figure it out. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Bruce?
I'm doing great, Nick. How are you?
I'm just lovely.
You are lovely.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Just back from vacation, all rested, ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Temporary
first
quarantine.
link I sent you, Bruce, was like a double link.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was.
So does anybody in here know anything about VidBlaster with the instant replay?
Bruce is an expert, I think.
Uh-huh. I played around with it a little bit, but like Mike was saying, it's primarily sports broadcasters are the one who really like that and use that, and so I've not played around with it other than just to kind of get it to work.
Yeah. So currently, I've got.
Nick, you could go to YouTube and get Tom's tutorials there. Like he's got, and I remember him having a few of them about instant replay because
Okay, so from what I see right here, I have a pretty decent grasping on VidBlaster.
Yeah.
So camera 1 is the source, and then in the replay source 1, I have camera 1, but nothing appears to be showing up.
I don't know.
Let's see. What if I put player 1 in there? No, I don't. Nothing is showing up. So I wonder if I have to click something to have it record.
You don't have anything in the program. You have,
I know I have nothing in program now, but I'm.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So I click live, and it's doing a record. So now if I go to modules, where's the control panel? What is that called?
What control?
The source switcher, whatever that thing is called.
There is a switcher, but I don't know that you really need it.
I think I do for this. Yeah, I do. I need to put. Oh wait, no, maybe that's not going to do it. So that's replay source 1. How do I get that to program?
That's another
I-
module I never used.
Why I have to have 100 freaking modules to do what I want? It's
I know.
ridiculous.
I know.
Like this is I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 modules, and I haven't even gotten it to program yet. I don't even know how to get it
Yep.
to program. Let's click stop.
Yep.
In, out. Stop. Stop. I have no clue.
So
what
what's happening, Bruce?
Well, just got back from one of my home office trips. This is the second month in a row I've done it solo with a Chromebook, and it's worked out really good. What's kind of interesting is that I've been using this Swiss Gear Pilot 20-inch carry-on for 5 years, and one by one the zipper pulls are broken, and it's time to replace it. And but flying with a Chromebook now, instead of bringing the big Dell Latitude business laptop, means that I don't necessarily have to bring that big Swiss Gear backpack at the same time. So I've been just kind of looking at for new bags, and I saw Michael Hyatt was the CEO of Thomas Nelson Publishing Company. He travels and speaks a lot. He's got a really great blog. Just started a new video podcast. You can find out more about him at michaelhyatt.com. But he tweeted about how to use a single carry-on bag to travel lighter. And so, well, immediately that piqued my interest. So I went and watched his YouTube video, and he did a review and a great blog post on an Eagle Creek Tarmac 22-inch carry-on. And it's got a great place in the front. It'll hold a full 15-inch size laptop, but it's also got a tablet pouch, a padded tablet pouch. And my 11.6-inch Chromebook will fit beautifully in that tablet pouch. So the idea is you just have one bag. And when I fly commuter jets where any kind of carry-on has to be gate checked. And that's okay, but so you just walk up, to the bag and open up the little pouch, pull out your Chromebook, snacks, anything else you want, and they, put it on the little trolley and they gate check it, and then you get it off on the tarmac when you get to your next stop. And one of the reasons that's really important, I don't know if you saw any of my posts, but I had my second flight cancellation in 2 months. I'm not sure that the U.S. Airways American Airlines merger is really going all that great. I don't know if they're able to. And Charlotte is a U.S. Air hub,
Right.
and this is the second mechanical cancellation I've had. So I have some medical equipment in my bag, and I made the mistake of checking this bag instead of doing it carry-on and gate checking like I normally do. And so I was stuck overnight, and my medical equipment's in my bag. And so I tried to get my bag. I went on a baggage claim. I said, I've got medical equipment that I've got to have. And they said, I'm sorry, we don't pull any bags. And I said, could I speak to your supervisor? They brought the supervisor out, and I could tell as soon as this lady came out, she was like a drill sergeant, you know. And I explained to her I needed my bag because I had medical equipment in it. Her response to me was, call a paramedic. And she turned and walked away. So I had some interesting, and Mike, I know you'll appreciate this, some interesting back and forth on Twitter with American Airways or U.S. Airways customer service. So that made it all the more important. So I ordered this Tarmac 22 bag. Can't wait for it to arrive, and I will never check my bags again after that experience. They put me up in a really nice Embassy Suites. I was there 6 hours just to sleep. Didn't get to enjoy it much except for the omelets to order breakfast in the morning before I caught the shuttle back to the airport. So that's the latest on me. Probably more than you wanted to know.
Paramedic.
Well, it's unfortunate because that's the way of the world now.
Yep.
And how's the new job in general?
Oh, it's great. I'm what's called a community leader for LifeChurch.tv. They just opened their 19th campus in Oklahoma City at Broadway in Britain, and they announced yesterday they're opening a new campus for the first time in the state of Kansas, in Wichita, Kansas. And so I've been doing some trainings for people on staff there that are doing small groups online. I'll tell you what, Life Church has really jumped on the Zoom.us bandwagon. It's such a great tool for doing online groups and collaboration and screen sharing and stuff like that. So it's been a lot of fun. I have a monthly all-team meeting where all the staff gets together, and just been really great getting to know the people there, and so it's been fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You look the same.
Yeah. they do an interesting series if anybody's interested, and they're in week 2. It's called At the Movies, and of course they have to pay to get the rights to do this, but they take fairly new movies and they build a teaching around those movies. And this week, it just started last night, is on the movie Saving Mr. Banks, and it's quite interesting about the whole principle is leaving your past behind. Don't get stuck in the past and your past mistakes and failures, and move forward. It's a great movie, a story about a true story about Mary Poppins, the author of Mary Poppins, and Walt Disney, and how he worked for 20 years to try to get the rights to that book to be able to do the movie and everything. It's last week was The Impossible. It was remember a couple of years ago there was a great movie about the tsunami that took over 290,000 lives. It was another true story type movie about a family who survived. And so anyway, I love their forward thinking and their employment of technology, and it's a good fit for me.
Nice. Good.
Interesting.
I like the Hangouts. It's cool.
Nick, so what happened?
I'm currently watching one of Tom Sinclair's videos, so I'll
About
report back in a
instant replay, right?
About instant replay, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm
All right.
going to be quiet here for a few
Okay.
minutes.
It's fine. So the story I was gonna say, so these companies are courting and recruiting high school students as young as 13 with promises of huge stipends and salaries. As one student put it, it's kind of insane that you can make more than the U.S. average income in a summer. Another who attended a Facebook-sponsored trip said he'd forego college for a full-time job. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing. If it were offered, is Silicon Valley taking advantage of naive young workers? I mean, I would think that if a company like this is offering jobs for high schools and all that, it should be like the military. They should actually pay for their college and make sure they go to college while they still doing the work, and maybe they'll have to sign something that they will come and work for the company after that. But I don't think they should create a situation where high school kids say, well, I don't have to go to college because I've got a job there. Because that job may not last. What do you think, Mike?
I think the whole job situation's in a mess. I mean, we've got in this country the media reporting dropping unemployment, which is only half of the equation. I could tell you I'm putting $1 million a month into the bank, and that might be impressive until you learn that I'm having to take out 1.1 million a month. So unfortunately, there's so much going on. People are desperate for jobs. Industries are falling apart. Careers are being ruined because people can't find good jobs. The unemployment number's dropping because people stop looking for work and they come off the unemployment. So if you've got 10 people looking for work and at the end of a period of time, one person says, oh, well, the heck with it, I can't find anything. My unemployment's timed out. I'm not going to look anymore. And it drops to 9, you just had a 10% drop in unemployment. Creates a problem.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Bruce, what's your tip?
So, Google is gradually rolling out being able to do away with the horrible Google Talk plugin. It's a very big resource hog as far as CPU, and they're moving to a combination of WebRTC and some other thing.
Right.
I've got it right now. I don't know if any of you guys have it.
We do.
You do?
Yeah, we all do.
Okay, great.
I don't know that I do.
Well, there is just to give you a little trick, and this is for everybody who's listening. If you like Google Hangouts and you use them, and you don't have this rolled out, and you'll know that you have it, you'll see a little red dot on the right side of your tab. You'll also see a little webcam icon in your URL bar. That'll be the two visual indications that you have it.
No, I don't.
Pardon me?
I don't.
Okay. So if you want it, you can force it. All you have to do is when you're in the Hangout, add the following to the end of the URL. Just put your cursor at the end of the URL and add $lantern, LANTERN equal 1.
What happened if I do it now? Is it going to mess up the whole?
Yeah.
If you do it now and you hit the Enter key, you'll come right back into the Hangout. But this is not a Hangout on air, correct?
No.
You'll come right back.
I don't think it's a good idea with him hosting it, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, it's a good tip for everybody else. If you don't have it yet, $lantern equal sign 1.
What is this that we're talking about? The Google, the not using the. So the other solution behind this, Bruce, is if you're running the beta of Google Chrome, you will get it as well.
Right, and that's what I'm running.
Yeah. All right. So I have good news to report with this thing.
Yeah.
So it works.
It works.
So here we go. So this is live right now.
Right.
And I clipped it a second ago. And so now if I click play on this, no, that's not working. If I click on that clip and click play, no, maybe that's not working. Let's see. How do we play it? I don't even know how to play this. All right.
Talk to us while you're doing.
Let's see. I'm watching Tom's video, and in his video it is working. And for whatever reason in mine, so let's make another clip right here. All right. So that guy just took a shot at the goal. So we're gonna go back a little bit.
Now you're gonna get a takedown notice.
Oh yes.
Bruce, who figured out that $lantern equals 1?
Chi-Chu himself from Google posted that.
That makes sense.
In Google Plus. So if you guys want it, you can force it. Now, the really big benefit of that for me is that we know that on the Chromebook, it will be rolled out, but it's not. At least it's not in the stable version right now. So I want to tell you, it makes a huge difference on a Chromebook to not have to use that Google Talk plugin and to use WebRTC.
Okay, I have another question about the Chromebook. I looked at the C720, the 2 gigabyte version at Best Buy for $199. I thought I went to Amazon and saw the 4 gig version for $199. When I went back and looked, that wasn't the case. Did I read something wrong, or was there a temporary glitch, or what?
No, you probably read something wrong.
There's a little state of flux going on right now. You can actually get a C720. I think the best price I've seen is $165 for the 2 gigabyte version, and I have seen some 4 gigabyte versions down to $199 as they get ready to come out with newer versions. There was a news article this week about the potential for cheaper Chromebooks with a lower price processor, but I tell you what, if it makes it slower, and I can see the replays working pretty good now, Nick, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, this is actually pretty good. How much is VidBlaster?
Talk to Tom.
Well,
I can probably hook you up.
so how much is...
It's not cheap.
Oh, it's fine. It's not my money. What's the difference? Do you know what the difference between a single user licenses and a
Yeah.
desktop license?
Yeah. See,
Okay.
don't you remember? This is the reason why Andrew dropped it. Single user means only you can operate VidBlaster.
Oh yeah, which is
Desktop means it's only one machine, but other people can do it.
well, which they have no way to prove, so it really doesn't matter. But
Yeah, but I don't know that it was ever enforced, and I
like this because it's got playback control, so like I can.
So Amnon, when you're switching, when you have you versus the Hangout on the left side of you, is that a different shot in VidBlaster?
Wait a second. When the only one that I can switch is between this that you see me and you, or just you.
But that's two separate VidBlaster shots.
That's two shots. One the split, and one whoever is talking now is going to pop up.
Right. Okay. That's the way a lot of people do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish there was a way, like, if you and Bruce are carrying a conversation, I would like to have a split with you and him, but it's not possible.
Not necessary.
Well, just would be nice to.
So, do you know what the difference between the home and studio is?
Yeah,
Home-
big.
home Pro
You skipping
Twice as
Pro.
much.
Yeah, it's money. Home is $198 or something like that.
What is the difference between them?
7 modules versus 25.
Oh, well, 7 would be plenty.
And wait a second, and I don't know if Instant Replay is available in Home. He's got all kind of weird ways about going about it. Some modules are only available in higher.
Pro seems to be the one to get. Store.
Pro is
$1,500?
No, Pro is $495.
No, that's very reasonable.
And it's 15 modules. But talk to Tom, because this is for school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would talk to Tom.
Oh yeah, I'll figure something out.
Yeah, I'll give him a call.
Well, no. I don't even know if I'm going to end up being able to do this. I'm just trying. I need to have some type of proposal ready for when and if this ever happens. So I could run just. I would have to have a dedicated machine just for that, and have to have 2 monitors attached, one for VidBlaster and one for the output, and then split the output to the TriCaster, I guess.
Well, you're going to have another machine anyway, because the
No, but this would have to
TriCaster
be its own.
doesn't do
This would
that.
have to be its own dedicated machine, just for the replays.
Any solution would have to, because the TriCaster doesn't do it, right?
No, but for this to work, it would have to be its own machine.
Yeah.
So like I couldn't use a different machine for it. I'd have to use just one machine,
Okay.
which is fine. And it wouldn't, and I don't think it would need to be very powerful because it's not doing any streaming or recording.
Right.
It's just kind of capturing replays and replaying them.
Yeah, Bruce. The reason, I mean, I'm very interested in that WebRTC thing because right now, when I'm having the shot with one, like just Nick, I'm running upwards. Like right now, it's 97%, 96%, 97, 94. So it's in the mid to upper 90% CPU utilization.
Yeah. Most people I've talked to are seeing about a 20% reduction.
Yeah. So that would be a big deal. If I go to the split one, and I never understood and nobody could ever explain. If I go to the split shot, I'm running 59, 62, 63. I have no idea why it's doing this. In my opinion, it's actually doing a lot more work when there are two different shots in the same shot. It makes no sense, but that would help cutting out that Google Voice plugin.
Actually, it'll be a good test to see how well the new codec helps because you're under like my system now. I'm sitting here operating at 9% CPU in the Hangout.
Yeah. So how do you pronounce the name? Ubity Media? In chat?
I don't know.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Ubity Media just posted the comparison, and VidBlaster Home does support instant replay.
It does?
The home version does.
Okay, well.
So yeah.
That's good. Because you'll be using it for a dedicated purpose. I mean, you might be able to get by with that. But be careful, Nick, because everything you do requires a module.
Yeah, well, let me open it back up again. And
yeah, you need to make sure, count the modules.
Yeah,
everything is a module, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not even a switcher in Pro.
Yeah, that. Oh,
You
there's
don't get the switcher till you get to Studio.
Yeah, that.
Otherwise,
switcher-
all your switching is done by mouse click.
Which is fine because there's no reason to switch away.
Yeah.
You don't need the switcher to.
And
Not
your
for a dedicated machine.
No.
and your volume up and down counts as one of your modules
Yeah,
too.
which we don't need either. So let's see. I would need one camera, one overlay possibly. I would need one output. I would need a store, and I would need that. So and then don't need a streamer. So currently I've got with everything 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 modules.
And the program also counts as well.
Yeah, I have the program, but I wouldn't necessarily need the program module.
Well, you want to see what's going out.
It would be going out to another screen, so.
Well.
Yeah. All right. So how do you do how do you force switch to something though?
Just click on it.
And you can do hotkeys as well.
Oh, so if I click one.
Yeah, whichever module you click on, that's what. If it's a display one, I mean, if you click on an overlay, it just turns the overlay on the shot on and
Well,
off.
I'm currently. It says replay source 1. How do I get that to go live?
Replay source 1. Where do you see that? On what?
It's one of the sources. But how do I get that
in
into
the video
program?
out?
No, it doesn't use a video out. It's got like a control on the switcher. I can see it, but I don't know how to switch to that.
Turn off the switcher.
I don't have the switcher on.
So what you just said on the switcher? I see.
On the switcher, there's a button for it. I don't have the switcher open. How do I get it into program?
You're looking at a module.
Yes.
What does it say on the top of that module?
Replay source 1.
Replay source 1. And is there a light on it?
There's a red light, but it's not in the program. The program is just dark.
Did you?
Yeah, there's a little. And I know what the red light is supposed to.
I don't know how that works. I don't know if that goes directly to the program.
But when I have the switcher open,
Yeah.
which I just opened, there is a line for that. But I that's the problem.
And when
is
you
I don't-
click it, it goes to the program.
It does. It does. Yes. Add switcher, and I
I
see
I don't-
black camera 1 replay. So now I've got the replay in there, but I don't know how to get that in there normally. Let me close VidBlaster and reopen it.
As far as I know, if it's something that can be displayed, you just click on it and it goes there. Does it have an on and off at the bottom?
It does not.
Then I guess it depends on another module.
It doesn't because if I open the switcher, it'll go there.
It may the switcher may know about it. So how did you turn the red light on?
I just clicked on it.
And if you unclick it, I mean, if you click again, it goes out?
No, it just kind of closes.
I'll bet you it depends. Again, Tom will be able to.
I will share my screen because I don't know anything about VidBlaster, but there you go. There's a little red light on replay, but it's not in the program.
All right, I've never seen this. Is there a play on it? What's the buttons at the bottom?
Well, no, this is a controller. That's not needed for this. But watch, if I go to add switcher, and I click. Yeah, see, program is still set to black. I don't know how to get it. I don't know how to get the replay.
That's because there's nothing there. Click on a
Yes,
camera. Click on a camera. Do you have a camera?
Yes.
Just you see, you just click on it and it goes there.
Yeah. Well, how do I get the replay? There is my question.
Yeah, that's what I don't know.
Play.
Now the place for the actual replay itself, but like watch. So if I click in and click out, so there's a clip there now. I don't know how to get that to go.
You have to add that replay controller to one of your outputs. You have to select it in one of your. You may even add a camera and choose that as the.
Well, if I had to add a camera, I'd still have to have the module there, but I don't need to because if I just click replay, there it goes.
Yep. Well, $1,000 for the switcher.
Ridiculous.
No,
Suffers
there's
on-
got to be a way to do it without the switcher.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
You have to add the replay to another source.
So would that source be a camera?
Yep.
I already tried this; it didn't work. There's no the replay doesn't have a source now.
Yeah,
Click-
do the
click-
source selection on the
Yeah.
camera too and see if it shows.
It doesn't.
To get camera 1.
Well, camera 1 is my input. I can't do it with that.
Well, just see if it shows
No,
up.
no. There's a camera 1 and a camera 2 module.
Yes.
When you click modules, there is camera 1 and camera 2.
Oh, I see what you're saying now.
What did you choose?
Camera 1. All right, here's camera 2. No, not in there.
See what's in there.
No, it's not.
No, I don't see. You didn't open the.
Yes, I did.
No,
Just
click
clicking on it.
click the down arrow.
I did. You guys can't see it,
Oh, okay.
but I can see it. It's not in there.
How
All right,
about
see-
how about a player?
Yeah, that might be it.
Open a player. And for the player, I
No.
don't remember now.
No, so the thing is, I don't need another player to get it to program
Well,
because
I don't
it'll
know.
go there with the switcher.
Well, the switcher's going to cost you $1,000 to get
Yeah.
that.
Well, what I don't understand is how can I get it with the switcher, but I can't click on it like a source. That's what I'm not understanding here. I mean, it's video source, then temporary. Hold on, let's see here. What is replay control? Okay, so if I view replay controller,
Hey, Andrew.
controller two. Nope. So the replay controller is what I need. I don't see how to get that. It's not an output. It's not an overlay. What would it be? This is very interesting.
Tim said that XSplit can do it for $150 for 3 years.
XSplit can't do instant replay.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% positive. Unless they've added... Bruce uses it too. Oh, hold on. Maybe it does. I guess it does do instant replay. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Their instant replay solution is adding recording something and then adding it to a playlist. It's not actually instant replay. I don't believe.
Andrew says that VidBlaster is wonderful when you want to drop as many frames as possible.
Yes, you need to set up you need to record and then set up a batch file. No, I'm not doing that. That's not a...
Right, I agree. That's not what you want to do.
No, I need something that people can use without...
Well...
But this... So... I
play
the
with...
output needs to be the replay controller. How do I get the replay controller into program is my question. Oh, I know what I need to do. I wonder if I click on that. Nope. How do I get the replay controller to go? How do you get the red light to turn on?
Uh-oh.
Hey, Andrew.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Do you want the link for the Hangout?
Yes, please.
All right. Well, it should be in your...
Yeah, just open Skype.
Skype.
Hey, I saw you with the GizWiz. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not in that group because Nick told me I was spamming.
Yes, you are.
To leave.
Okay, here.
Well, you left the group?
I did.
Why?
Because you didn't want me in there.
Well, no, it's the group for the Hangouts, and then you're posting bands will make you dance.
Stop yelling at me.
All right. Did you get it? I guess he did. He dropped out. You just, I mean, you need to play with it and
yeah, I just
figure out if it's doing what you want it to do.
I need to get the replay controller into program. I don't know how to do that though.
Hey, just a little tip, Amnon, if you ever did want the side by side like Mike and
and somebody
and
else, yeah.
You could use Zoom.us, use gallery mode, and then size that window to be the same every time you open it, and you can force it to be 2 on top of 2. The captures would be of nice size and quality, and when the third person came in, it wouldn't affect the 2 top ones. So you could do that way.
Well,
okay,
right,
so I just figured it out.
Right now we're trying to figure out how to use the Hangouts. You're already throwing me into.
All right, so I have figured it out. So I don't need to use a program. All I need to do is set an output of the replay controller to output to a monitor.
All right.
That's the solution. So cause I don't need the program because I'm not doing anything with the program. I can remove this module. I don't need it. All I need is the replay source and
the VVD.
No, I don't need the VVD either.
Well, don't let Mike know if this gets out. He's going to raise the price or change something where you can't do what you're showing.
How are you going to be sending it to another machine?
I'm not sending it to another machine. I'm sending it to a monitor. That would be an output. So the output will just be the replay controller, which if I click live, will go in there. And if I click...
Okay, you need to play with it and see that it's in actuality it's
this
doing...
is in actuality. I have it going to one of my monitors right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think that's all I need. But
So
I could test it with the demo, of course.
What's the module on the bottom left?
This is an overlay, which I'd use for just throwing like a replay bug on. Which I really need.
Well...
Oh, that's only going to go on a program.
Now, wait a second. In order to use an overlay, you're going to have to use a video effect module.
Well, then... I guess I could add that. Let's see.
You have to get a video effect module and put... On the left side, you need to put the camera, and on the right side the overlay, and then it puts them both together.
All right,
It is
like digital whack-a-mole.
No, seriously, Jesus.
Yeah.
So I click on the
Morning.
drop down. Oh, hello, Andrew.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm at the beautiful Meritage Resort in Napa.
Is that where they have alcohol?
No, I actually have not been drinking that much. I've been the sober one in this party.
Boy, that's scary.
Yeah. So, I actually just woke up about 3 minutes ago.
Are you going to be on Twit today?
You know, that was bizarre. That was weird. I walked in there and 3 people came and they just pushed me in front of the camera and they said, "Look, you're the guest on the Gizwiz."
Nothing like planning ahead.
It was a very interesting experience.
Yeah. Are you coveting all the gear you saw?
You know, it's a very impressive facility. That I have to tell you, it's unbelievable. Just the facility alone, the lighting is more than anything. The lighting blew me away. How perfect the lighting is. Lisa was very nice. I met Lisa. I met Leo.
How was Leo?
He was pleasant.
You did good.
Yep.
Leo was nice. I think he got a little startled when I walked in there.
He didn't know who you were.
Oh,
Not off the bat, he didn't. He's like, "Oh, who are you?" And I think
Yeah,
somebody told him it was Andrew Zarian.
No, he knew exactly who I was.
Are you sure?
He knew exactly who I was. Well, I mean, I could play you the clip of him calling me a copycat.
A slut.
I just found it interesting. Like when you walked in, he was like, "Oh, hey, where are you guys going?" And then somebody said Napa, and then he was like, "Oh, Napa's great." And then he was like, "Oh, you're Andrew Zarian, my arch nemesis."
Yeah, well, he knew.
Well, let's move past that.
Yeah. He was very interested on how Spencer makes money.
He was a gracious host, was he not?
For
He
the
was very
2
nice.
seconds
I
that he
think-
was there.
He did
You
not
know, I
have.
think he probably had a different idea of what kind of person I was, so maybe he was a little on guard when I walked in there, and then he was very nice.
He did not have security usher you out the door, right?
No, but Alex said that at one point he thought he would.
But he didn't.
Listen, he was a really nice guy. I was actually very surprised. They were like, "Hey, do you want to do the Gizwiz? Are you here for the Gizwiz?" No. You want to do it?
I guess so.
Sure, why not?
All right.
You're on episode 100 of the Gizwiz or Gizfizz.
I had no idea it was episode. Dick is excellent. I love him.
But it's really bizarre that you from New York go to Petaluma, California to be on a show with a guy from New York.
I know. That I know from New York. Alex is a class act. Their engineer there.
Yep.
He's just class act. I had a great conversation with Lisa. She's a very intelligent woman. And you could see why that company's doing so well because of her.
Really? It's not because of him? Because of Leo?
Well, Leo's talented on air, I mean, of course, but the day-to-day business stuff is so insane. I really think she's one of the only people that could actually do that. I gained a lot of respect when I walked in there to see how they run the day-to-day.
Nice.
It was actually very nice.
Nice.
We were there for a little bit. Petaluma is a really pretty place, and then now we're in Napa. You can see.
Oh, it looks like Sean's backyard.
It does. I'm actually in Sean's backyard. That's what people don't know.
You didn't stop by and say hello to him.
I was never told to. I was never invited by him. He never invited me to stop by and say hello.
So this is VidBlaster with 6 modules.
Why are you trying to torture yourself on a Sunday morning?
I'm not. I'm trying to figure. Yeah, actually, you might be the right person to ask for this. What do I do about trying to do instant replay for sports? What is my option?
In general, you have to use VidBlaster.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for that, Andrew.
No, I mean that's the truth. There's nothing else. I mean,
Wirecast is supposed to have it, but I don't know if and when that's ever going to happen.
What did Steven say that
Well,
they
hey, I'm not. Some of that stuff's NDA, so I wouldn't say anything about any of that.
Okay.
I don't care. I'll break NDAs. Ask me the question.
Well,
No, I mean I thought he said that
it
it was out, but it didn't work right.
I thought that.
I've never heard anything like that.
Yeah, I've never heard anything about replay, but I've heard it's supposed to be in there.
Oh,
I've
okay.
heard a lot of things are
Okay.
supposed to be in there.
Well,
From what I know, and I don't think I'm breaking an NDA, but if I am, I really don't care. I know that they've been considering adding instant replay. As far as actually implementing it, I don't know how far along they are. I don't know when they're going to do it. I mean, they just added a playlist.
And that took them like 6 years.
Yeah, so I don't know. But reality is you need to use VidBlaster if you're going to do replay, or you can get a replaying software.
What software? Yeah, what software would I use? I don't need to use VidBlaster for recording.
I don't know. Let's have some wine. Well, what time is it?
What difference does it make? It's 5 o'clock
I
somewhere.
don't know. It's 8 in the morning here, so here we go. The beautiful. Just grapes. I'm just having grape juice.
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
Sweet barrel wine.
Sweet berry wine.
So
Mike, you have to see. I was actually surprised that they don't have an audio engineer there.
I told you that.
Yeah, they have Jammer B, which does know audio, and he knows the Axia the best. But I was looking at some of the stuff that they do, and all I kept saying is, why are they doing it that way?
Well, they have it set up so that Leo can run his own board, audio and video, I'm assuming, from his position with the least amount of people as possible. And what they have works and works well, so who's to criticize?
But I had a very nice conversation with Lisa. She's very, very nice. I know they get a lot of crap, but
Did you invite them to come and see you at your studio?
I did send them a message thanking for having me there. And I said, if you're in New York, we would love to take you out to dinner.
Nice.
Next time
Nice.
when we come by, we'd love to have dinner. Now we have dinner plans for the next time we do something.
Oh, there you go. So I just found software called Race Replay. That is, yes, it's an easy-to-use application for capturing and playing back video from a video camera, controlling instant replay. How much is this? Oh, it's free. Look at that.
Nice.
Well, there you are.
Yeah, I didn't. You know what, Andrew? I didn't even think about that until you said it.
No, there are third-party replaying softwares, but they're not cheap from what I know. They're a little expensive, all of them.
And then of course,
But, I mean, you're going to spend about
Newtek's got their 3Play, but that's like $10,000.
Yeah, I mean, Movie Buff just
Movie Buff posted stuff.
What did Movie Buff say?
he just put a link to replay function in Wirecast. But I remember somebody looking at it and it was not what.
Oh yeah, there's workarounds for everything. That like the XSplit can do it as well. But we're looking for we need a solution. I'm not going to be running it, so I need a solution that somebody that is not computer savvy can click the start button and the stop button and then move the little
Right.
What is that called? The scrub wheel around.
Something
I mean,
that-
I can't have software where I'm running a bash script to find a file name. It's not practical.
Yeah.
All right, so here, this software is called the Race Replay. I can click Open. Let's see here. Let's click on a camera. Video live preview.
So this is a third-party creation, right?
Yeah, this is just a. Okay, so how do you?
So it's an add-on to anything.
Apparently, yes. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. I don't know how to use it though. It says it can work with a webcam or video camera. Setup. Here we go. Device. So we'll check AverMedia.
All right. While you are looking and figuring that out,
Yeah. Go ahead.
the used smartphone market is thriving, with many people selling their old devices on eBay or Craigslist when it's time to upgrade. Unfortunately, it seems most people are really bad at wiping their phone of personal data before passing it on to a stranger. Antivirus company Avast bought 20 used Android phones off eBay and used some basic data recovery software to reconstruct deleted files. From just those 20 phones, they pulled over 40,000 photographs, including 1,500 family pictures of children and over 1,000 more personal pictures.
Oh, personal.
They also recovered hundreds of emails and text messages, over 1,000 Google searches, a completed loan application, and identity information for 4 of the previous owners. Only one of the phones has security software installed on it, but that phone turned out to provide the most information of all. Hackers at Avast were able to identify the previous owner, access his Facebook page, plot his previous whereabouts through GPS coordinates, and find the names and numbers of more than a dozen of his closest contacts. What's more, the company discovered a lot about this guy's penchant for kink and completed copy of a sexual harassment course. Hopefully a preventative measure. So what do you do?
Nothing.
I mean, you take a hammer to it.
I guess that's the only. No, you put a drill right through it.
It is really, really. I mean, I'm assuming that all this information probably resides on a card, right?
A card in what way?
On a what do you call them?
An SD card.
Oh, an SD card.
SD card. The phone could not have that much memory to hold stuff in there, right?
No.
On board, it probably has 8 gigs.
8 or 16 gigs, depending on what phones they bought.
Jeez.
But 16 gigs is plenty for pictures.
Yeah, most phones do not have expandable memory, so it's 16 gigs.
Yeah.
So what do you do in order to erase it? I mean, it's just like formatting a hard drive. You can go and unformat it. What do you do? I mean, really,
You go into reset if it's an Android phone. You go into reset, and then you go into factory reboot. You do a factory reboot. You don't put your phone information in there. You just leave it the way it is, and you wipe everything off.
That's what I did when I sold my phone.
But
I did a factory reinstall, and I just left it at the AT&T startup screen.
And you think that I mean, I would like to think that anybody who sells their phone will do that. That's a simple thing to do. But obviously they don't.
I guess not.
Either that.
People are dopey. People are idiots. I mean, it's the same as the people that throw away computers and they put the computer on the side of the road.
With
somebody grabs it and it's all their information on the computer.
Right. Yeah, that's really bad.
I mean, it happens with computers all the time. I think it's far more difficult to sit there and teach someone how to format a computer than to. I had a relative bought a computer off of Craigslist. It was like an i7 computer, and they bought the computer. It looked like everything was deleted, and then they look at the recycling bin, and everything is in the recycling bin.
Okay. Yeah, that's...
And it had everything about this guy. It had work documents. It had personal family photos. It had everything you could imagine sitting there because he thought if you delete it and it goes into the recycling bin, it's over. I actually, years ago, I bought a computer. I bought a laptop, a Toshiba laptop. and when I got it, the information, I go to start it up, and it was someone else's information in there. Somebody
Open
had
the box.
returned the computer,
Yeah.
and it had all their personal information. They used it for like a week or two, and it had, just all their history files, everything was there.
Mm.
Well, help me understand something here, because you guys, the article you mentioned, Amnon, talking about the resale market for older smartphones.
Right.
I'm looking at a listing on eBay. This is Verizon. I have AT&T. But here is a Verizon iPhone 4, not an S, just a 4, 16 gigabytes. It's the same one I have on AT&T. Smartphone, black, clean ESN. It's a buy it now for $145. It has 2,839 watchers.
Jeez.
Okay.
I don't get it. I mean, is that a good price on that phone? I mean, that must be some sort of a deal.
How much is it?
$145.
It probably doesn't have a clean ESN.
Well, assuming it does.
Well, it's an iPhone 4, Nick.
Oh, it's an iPhone 4. Oh, then yeah, that's an
awful
all right.
deal.
Why would anybody do that?
Yeah, no, you could get a. Well, I'm not. How much is the iPhone 4 out of contract still? Is it like $500 maybe?
Can you still buy it out of contract?
Yeah, I don't know if you could buy it under contract, but I know that there are a lot of people that want to get rid of theirs, and it's sitting in a drawer.
Yeah, Gazelle.
I mean, we throw them away.
Don't just sell it, gazelle it.
In fact.
Leo did you got to back it up to get it back, Ed, and I just started giggling in the corner.
How did that make you feel?
Carbonite.
It was great, and then I asked him who his internet service provider is.
DSL Extreme.
All right, I never had to do this because I never sold a smartphone because I use them until they die. Can you actually go into your Android and format the
Yes.
the
Yes.
memory? There's actually a format command.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, there is no hard drive.
I know, it's the memory. Yeah, it's like formatting a flash drive.
Yeah.
But that's, I was thinking that it's the SD card, and I was saying, take it out. Let the person who buys it put their own thing. Let them buy one. Or if it makes such a big difference, then buy one and stick a different one in there. I don't know, but it's definitely. I mean, that's how easy it is for people to get your information from mistakes that we make, and like Andrew said, put a computer on the side of the road, sell a phone on eBay or Craigslist. Anyway.
I'm still looking at these listings on eBay. It's an iPhone 4. It says factory unlocked. What does that mean?
Use
That
on
you
any
can pay
carrier.
for any service, so it doesn't matter. Is it
I
I-
understand what unlocked
factory
means.
unlock GSM or factory unlock CDMA? That means you can take the CDMA to any CDMA or the GSM to any other one.
But
But
what
with the
is-
iPhones, it doesn't matter because it's one phone, so you can essentially take it to anywhere you want.
Yeah, factory unlock simply means that this person got out of their contract, was able to call up their provider and have them unlock it for them.
Okay. So they're indicating then that the provider's record would indicate that it was unlocked and it was not done by a third party.
Correct.
Yes.
As if that's a big... This phone, it says it's new. Never mind. It's new 16 gigabyte for $269. Has 12 watchers. Okay, I missed the part where it was new. So that's part of the answer to my question. Because I'm sitting here thinking that when the iPhone next one 6 comes out, I wonder what AT&T's deal is going to be to get the phone.
Well, every carrier's got it now, so it doesn't matter.
But what's it going to be? I mean, they're going away with these supplemented phones and trying to go with cheaper plans or something like that, as I recall.
It's going to be the same.
Still going to be $200 to get the phone?
probably $200, and then the 5-inch. If they add the 5-inch, it's going to be, actually, I do think that they are gonna have a higher price model if they're making the screen bigger, rightfully so. If they have, let's say, a 5-inch screen, I know that the 4.7 is going to be the regular one, but they may have, the higher screen, which is going to be $100 more.
Yeah, see, if they do that, that's not good.
Why? Every Android phone that I see is $299. All the flagship Android phones.
The Note 2 was $199. I bought it new.
HTC One was $299. The Nexus phones were $299. When I got my Droid, it was $299.
Yeah, the Nexus is Google's unsubsidized phone, though. I wouldn't consider that. I'm not paying $300 for a 5-inch iPhone. I'll just get a $199 Android phone. That's ridiculous.
I'm going to Verizon's website right now to see what the pricing is. The $299 it's I've seen that price everywhere. Smartphones. Well, it may be a bad time because the phones are new now, but.
Bruce, which tablet are you using now? A phone?
I'm still using the Note 2. I had an interesting experience since I last talked with you guys. I'm on the Note 2 with AT&T. They rolled out 4.4.2 KitKat. I was all excited about it. Tried to install it. Forgot that my phone was rooted, so I went into Super User and unchecked to unroot the phone. Went through the install and bricked my Note 2. I mean, it was just hosed. It took me 2.5 days of trying many methods, and I finally, and I don't know exactly what did it, but it's kind of like taking a rubber mallet to a car that's, your carburetor, something stuck in there. Anyway, I jarred something loose, so now I'm on 4.4.2. I ended up getting it back by going back to stock 4.1.2. and then going to the 4.3 upgrade, and then it pushed, the 4.4.2 one. But in the meantime, I had to have a phone, so I went down to AT&T, and I actually got a Moto X, and I had 14 days. So I figured I had 14 days to be able to revive my Note 2. And then if I was able to revive it, I'd have to pay a restocking fee for the Moto X. But I'll tell you what really surprised me was how much I enjoyed that little phone the 2 days that I had it and used it. It doesn't have the horsepower of a lot of phones, but the user experience was really quite nice for it. But alas, the Note 2 is alive and well.
There you go.
Oh.
And as far as I'm concerned, as long as it stays alive and well, I have really no compelling reason to upgrade to a Note 3 or a Note 4 or a new iPhone 6 or anything else. This phone continues to perform admirably, and I'll tell you what, I sure was glad that when my flight got canceled and my phone charger was in my bag that they wouldn't pull, that I had 2 spare batteries fully charged at 100%. That took me through the night, and I put the fresh third one in the morning when I got on the plane to fly back. And, man, I love having a user replaceable battery.
I will agree with that.
What was that? There was something about the U.S. Transport Security Administration revealed on Sunday that enhanced security procedure on flight coming to the U.S. now include not allowing uncharged cell phones and other devices onto planes. During the security examination, officers may also ask the owners to power up some devices, including cell phones. Powerless devices will not be permitted on board the aircraft. The traveler may also undergo additional screening. So you got to make sure that your devices are charged before you take them on a plane. I thought they were always asking you to turn on laptops and things like that.
Andrew.
Yes, sir.
What was this business about when you were flying out? You plugged into an outlet. It'd be interesting what Bruce thinks about this. You plugged into an outlet at the seat to charge your computer.
Yeah.
And the agent came up and started yelling at you.
Yeah. Yeah, the flight attendant. He lost his mind. He goes, "Whoa! What are you doing? What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm plugging into an outlet. He goes, "We don't offer outlets on this flight." I go, "You offer outlets on every flight. That's not for personal use." I go, "Then what kind of use is it for?" And he's like, "It's not for you. You can't plug into that." And then another guy, the female stewardess came. She goes, "What are you doing? It's an outlet for every seat."
There was an outlet in every seat?
Yeah.
Every outlet has seats.
So every outlet has seats, but it's not for you.
Every seat has an outlet. I'm sorry.
Is the pilot walking out of the cockpit and going back to your seat so he can plug in his phone?
He goes, "It's for personnel use." But here's the thing. I initially had asked him, does this plane, because I couldn't find it. It's like buried under the seat. And I asked him, does this plane have outlets? He goes, "No, we don't. This plane hasn't been upgraded for outlets yet." But it was a brand new plane, so I knew that there were outlets. And in the manual, it said that there was outlets under the seat. And the guy lost his mind, and the stewardess came over, just screaming at him, saying, "What are you doing? Of course every seat has an outlet. It's under everybody's seat. It even has a USB port."
So how did it end?
He didn't say anything. He was very sassy, this guy. Very sassy.
And he was a steward?
Yes, the steward. Very sassy.
Some of these guys are like first lieutenants in the Army, you know, back in World War II. You know, they'd get a bar and they just strut their
more
style.
like the Navy.
Wait a minute, I was in the Navy.
Well, not your type of Navy.
No, it was the first lieutenants in the Army on the battlefield, you know, who didn't have any experience, who reported to a new unit, and the sergeant and the rest of the men looked at him and said, "Oh my Lord, what are we going to do with this guy? He's going to get us killed."
No, this guy was very sassy. He had such an attitude on him.
What was everybody saying? Like, was everybody just staring at you as this guy lost his mind?
Yeah, because I was so calm, like, and I go, are you kidding me right now? I'm like, "It's an outlet. That's what it's for." He's like, "It's not for personal use." And I go, "What other kind of use is it besides personal?" It was like that George Carlin skit. "Please check around your immediate seat for any personal belongings." What other kind of belongings are there besides personal? Public belongings? These people actually think I may have brought the fountain I stole from the park on board the plane. So they were screaming, and then I guess he was new, the guy, and he was on edge. And she was so irritated by him. She brought me wine, and she's like, "Whatever you want, just let me know. I'm so sorry." Idiot. She couldn't believe his reaction.
You know, you're darn lucky the guy didn't have you arrested.
For using an outlet, yeah.
Yeah.
Did she apologize or anything?
Yeah. Profusely. She's like, "I've never seen anyone react like that, and I'm gonna report him as soon as we land."
You think it's because he thought you were a terrorist?
No, because he was just a very sassy, arrogant guy.
Andrew, it's because he liked you.
My experience with the baggage claim, I saw out of the right corner of my eye that there was an airport policeman about 10 yards from me. And so I just kind of kept gauging his response as I got more and more animated with this sassy lady who refused to pull my bag so I could get the medical equipment in it, and told me to call a paramedic. And I got louder and a little more animated. And I kept watching this guy at the right corner of my eye, expecting it. You know, how animated can I get before he comes over?
Yeah.
And he never even flinched my direction. When I finished with this thing, I walked over and I walked over to him. I said, "Can you believe that?" He said, I can hardly believe what she did. That is such bad customer service, you know." So he was on my side, but I did keep an eye on him.
Was it a TSA agent or baggage claim?
No, it was baggage claim for U.S. Air in Charlotte. I had a flight cancellation, and I had medical equipment in my bag, and they wouldn't pull it.
Hey, Bruce, I don't. This might be a stupid thing to say. Is there any legal action you could take against them?
No.
Nope, it's a policy. It's a major hub. They had a lot of cancellations, bad weather, and so they got all these thousands and thousands of bags. And it's their policy. They won't go. They will not go and pull a bag, even if you say you have medical equipment in it.
Yeah, I've noticed that. So we went through JFK. Going through JFK was phenomenal. We didn't have to take our shoes off. We didn't have to take our belt off. We didn't have to take our laptops off. JFK, I mean, they're total professionals. They go, don't worry about it. This woman had baby bottles. They're like, don't even bother taking it out.
Were you pre-check?
What?
Were you pre-check?
No.
Because the only time I've seen him do that, I mean, I was pre-check on my.
Well, for the pre-check, you just walk right in.
Right.
Oh, yeah, no, we didn't. We still stood online, but they're not. They're no longer doing the belts and the shoes at JFK for domestic flights.
Wow.
They're not doing it. They realize how ridiculous it is. LAX, on the other hand, the line is a disaster at LAX. I mean, to get on, and we were running a little late. We were 20 minutes till our flight was going to start boarding, and I was talking to Spencer, and just a TSA agent came over. She goes, "Oh, are you guys running late?" We say, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay, don't even worry about it. Just go right through. Just put us right through."
Hmm.
And we got on the plane with the rest of the slugs. That was a disgusting flight. They're not even human beings, half these people. When they go on a plane, they're slugs.
But it got you away from the paparazzi.
Yes, it did. It did. Because people are up and about and drinking already. We have a wine tour at 10 o'clock today.
Hour and a half.
Yeah, in an hour and a half. We got a wine tour. And then we're headed back to San Francisco.
Are you going by Mirasu?
What is that?
Mirasu.
What is that?
It's a winery we visited out there 20 years ago.
In Napa?
Yep.
I don't know. Spencer's wife planned it out. We got a limo just to drive us around for the next 6 to 8 hours.
So, are you flying straight back from there, or are you going back through LAX?
We're driving to San Francisco tomorrow morning-ish. Maybe like tomorrow afternoon, we're going to drive to San Francisco. And then we'll probably get to San Francisco around like 2, 3 o'clock, drop off the rental car that we got, and then Spencer and Yvette are going to fly back to LA, and then Jess and I are staying here another day, and then Tuesday at 11, I have a flight back to New York.
So you're going back to New York from San Francisco?
From San Francisco.
Oh, that's convenient. I didn't know whether you were going to have to go back through LAX.
No, I get in at 8 o'clock on Tuesday evening back to New York.
How much are they charging you to keep your jet over at San Francisco?
What was that?
Sorry, I'm choking. How much are they charging you to keep your jet over at San Francisco?
They do it for free for me.
Okay. I should have known.
So, the largest private employer in all of China and one of the biggest supply chain manufacturers in the world, Foxconn, announced it will soon start using robots to help assemble devices at its several sprawling factories across China.
Hey guys, before you get into it, I gotta run. I have to go get ready.
Sure. Enjoy your time and stay safe.
I'll be listening.
Bye, Andrew.
Rush your hair.
See you
Bye-bye
later.
for now.
Glad you got a chance to see me.
I did see this. I'll see you guys later.
Take care, Andrew. So Apple, one of Foxconn's biggest partners, to help assemble its iPhones, iPads, will be the first company to use the new service. Foxconn said its new Foxbots will cost roughly $20,000 to $25,000 to make, but individually be able to build an average of 30,000 devices. According to Foxconn CEO Terry Gou, the company will deploy 10,000 robots to its factories before expanding the rollout any farther. He said the robots are currently in their final testing phase. One thing is going to be for sure, These robots will never commit suicide. These robots will probably never complain about hours. So it's smart for Foxconn to do that, isn't it?
Of course. Yep.
We won't hear about any lawsuits or problems there. Let's see what else. That's interesting here, Mike. Listen, the Bell Labs R&D division of telecom's giant Alcatel-Lucent has today claimed to set a new world record after they successfully pushed ultra broadband speeds of 10,000 megabits. 10,000 megabits.
That's 10 gigabits.
Per second down a traditional copper telephone line using XG-FAST technology, which is an extension of G-FAST. G-FAST is a hybrid fiber technology which is designed to deliver internet speeds of up to 1,000 megabits, a gigabit, over runs of copper cable up to around 250 meters via 106 megahertz plus radio spectrum. The idea is that fiber optic cable is taken closer to home, and then G-FAST works to deliver the last few meters of service, which saves money because the operator doesn't have to dig up your garden to lay new cables. XG-FAST works in a similar way, but via an even shorter run of copper and using frequencies of up to 500 megahertz. For example, XG-FAST delivers its top speed of 10,000 megabits by bonding two copper lines together over just 30 meters of cable. And bonding two copper lines is done today even for a T1. They use two lines. They bond two lines together so they have thicker copper. And 30 meters, that's 100 yards. So, I mean, roughly. That's a good distance.
30 meters is 100 feet.
What?
30 meters is 100 feet.
Which is about 30 yards. I'm sorry. No, 30 meters is not 100. It's, a meter is like a yard. So it's 30 yards. You're right. I'm sorry. What am I saying? It's 100 feet, not 100 yards.
Right. And why did I have to bring that up? Because Nick is the math expert.
Yeah, that's true, Nick.
I'm sorry.
You failed.
I'm tuning everything out. I apologize.
You're not listening.
No, I have a quick question, though.
Okay, quick. Instant replay.
All right, here we go. Quick question. How do you go about hooking a hard drive up to two different computers at the same time?
What are you talking about?
Is that a possibility?
Say that again.
How can you take a single external hard drive and hook it up to two computers at the same time?
You hook it up to one and share it so that it's accessible from the second.
Yeah.
to
Needs
computers.
to be
Or a
hooked up
NAS.
to USB.
I'm not aware of a way to do that.
How can you hook it to two computers
I
via
have no clue.
USB? You can't. What brought that on?
All right, so this is what I'm thinking. Hear me through on this.
Uh-oh.
So, I'm thinking. First of all, I looked at the XSplit replay option, and that looks like it's pretty easy. It's kind of a workaround, but I already have a copy of XSplit, and it's pretty inexpensive.
So it's doable.
It's doable. So this is what I'm thinking. The TriCaster has a DDR. So you can, or it has a DVR. It's got two video players that are always in there by default. So you can add videos to the video player. So what I'm thinking is I have an external hard drive hooked up to two computers at the same time. I don't even know if this is possible, and I don't know how this would work. You have it hooked up to two computers. The one computer's got the input from the camera using any software you would like to record video, Wirecast, XSplit, the built-in capture software, whatever you'd like. And it is recording to replay.mp4. The TriCaster, which is also hooked up to that external hard drive, has replay.mp4 in its DDR. I'm not sure if while you're recording to it and you click stop record, if it will play that video file from the hard drive without having to add it manually every time. Do you guys understand what I'm talking about? No?
Not me.
No, I'm not following you, but
so the problem with adding videos to the TriCaster, you have to click add, search for the file name, and then click on that. And while you're trying to switch between different cameras, that's not practical. But if the TriCaster is pulling replay.mp4 from the external hard drive, and another computer is recording to the same external hard drive with that file name, when the recording is done, will it be able to just replay that file because it's pulling it from the hard drive?
To me, I don't see how that could possibly work unless there's some sort of shadowing system in
That's
there.
what I don't even know if it's possible, but that was just an idea that came through that I thought about.
I wouldn't spend a lot of time on that one.
the thing is that if one computer is recording to that MP4, then
You won't be able to play it till it's done. I understand that.
well, yeah, done. It's never done because it keeps on recording.
No. Well, with the solution, you would be running video software. At the start of the play, you would click the record button. At the end of the play, you would click the record button again, and it would stop, and the file would be finalized. And then it would be in the DDR to play back.
Then what's the big deal about having it for two computers?
Because you need to be able to record on a separate computer to the same file.
I don't think that's...
I don't know if it's possible either.
I wonder how a NAS will work, because that's for, like, accounting. You can...
Yeah, well,
two
possibility.
people can record to the same file on the NAS to update, but I don't know...
I don't think that's possible.
I don't think it's the same at the same time. I think it's back and forth.
So I don't know. The Expo thing looks pretty doable.
Yeah, Nick, don't look for ways around and kind of inventive ways of doing it, like you said, because people that will be sitting there sometimes will not be.
Well, if that hard drive setup worked, then I mean it would be just as easy as clicking start and stop.
Well,
it almost is like the file being recorded would have to be recorded and then immediately copied over to a second file. I don't see how it could work.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because being the problem you have is when you don't have video control on the TriCaster, you've got to play it off of an external source and have it come in via screen region or actually not screen region, as a source. And it just becomes a real pain. But I guess it's doable.
see every CCTV security system, camera system, has, so to speak, it's not really instant replay, but it is in essence, because you see something, and if you click on it, it starts playing the last few seconds. And you can see it again, but you have to be watching it all the time.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
I think that using something like XSplit will be the easiest. You
So,
just
yeah.
start the recording when the play's about to start. You stop the recording when the play is over, and then, if need be, you can just.
Is this how you have to do it in VidBlaster too? You have to.
No, with VidBlaster you have speed control and everything, but I'm just. So Bruce has got to run. See you later, Bruce.
Yeah, and I was just going to say thanks, guys, for letting me hang out. This is really good, and I'm glad that I can leave without messing up your captures here.
I know. Oh boy, I was going to say that before. This is so nice that somebody can leave and I don't have to recapture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you captured my heart years ago.
The door's always open.
Oh.
All right. Take care.
See ya.
See you later.
Take care. So with VidBlaster, you also have to stop it in order to do the instant replay, or can you in the middle of
I don't
whatever?
know. The VidBlaster thing is kind of weird, and to be honest, it's a little confusing.
Okay, never mind. So that's what I was looking.
You have so much experience with it.
What?
You have so much experience with
Well,
it.
Mike, the problem is I have some experience with VidBlaster, and I can't figure it out. Somebody that has no knowledge of VidBlaster is never going to be able to figure it out.
Well, then you're going to teach them.
The problem is it's not going to be the same person every week. I don't think.
Then you can do a video showing them how to do it.
Well, that's why using something that's just a F9 starts the recording, F9 stops the recording. It seems to be the easiest way to do it.
Well, we'll be interested in seeing a blog post on IAIB about how you accomplished it.
He will. I mean, one way or another, he will. You know, Nick doesn't give up. But he may end up doing it with another program. Who knows?
The problem is the budget is what's really killing me.
So right.
Well,
So
I'm writing
Mike,
an article
you
today
lost
for-
you lost Daily Motion?
twice.
I didn't. I mean, I've got it running
As
on.
did Brent. Brent did too.
Interesting.
And it's usually every week. But I'm writing an article, and I have to write it today, on using free bandwidth providers, free communication services to do a remote broadcast for a radio station. I'm talking about Skype, Source Connect, Now, and SIP are the only three I'm really going to talk about at this point.
What happened when you lost it?
Just said
No, I mean, how did it come back?
I didn't. I had to refresh.
No, you see, so I did not lose it. I mean, I
Here's
was
a
going to say
expert solution.
if it came back by itself, maybe I didn't catch it in time to see that it went away. But no.
Mine did not come back by itself. I had to refresh, and Brent had the same problem.
Interesting. Oh. Let's see.
About starting a podcast.
The what?
I'm thinking about starting a podcast
Why?
because I can.
Well, yeah, but first you have to go and watch some of what's his name podcasts to learn how to do it.
You should watch Radar Gaming and learn how to do it. We haven't done a show in a month.
Yeah. Well, how are you doing with all the complaints, Nick?
Well, nobody watches the show, so there's no complaints.
Oh.
Simple as that.
No, I'm thinking about doing a short podcast where it's prearranged. I have one guest per show, and they call up and we go through their audio problems.
That's an interesting idea. You shouldn't have just said it publicly, though.
I don't care. Anybody wants to do it, go do it.
I'll do it. Nick Craig, the audio expert.
You are the audio expert.
I'll also do math help.
Yeah, and you actually work a differential equation for them before you get off the air if it takes less than the full time.
I don't know why you would do it anyway, because audio is not important.
Audio is not important. I heard it on Twit yesterday.
Yep. All right. Watch out, everybody. Getting a copyright notice from a law firm can be scary. Getting a fake one that contains a Trojan horse and could potentially steal your data is terrifying, and it's been happening in Germany. According to Torrent Freak, approximately 30,000 fake emails citing copyright violations regarding tracks from Jay-Z, Sepultura, and others have been sent to unsuspecting Germans. What makes the emails seem legitimate is that they include details from actual law firms that are known to send these types of emails to offenders. Here's a sample of an email being sent. This is a warning because of your violation of 19A of the Copyright Act on 7/6/2014. The music album Bullet for My Valentine, Temper Temper, was downloaded from your IP address, blah, 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 at 3:40:24. This violates Section 19A of the Copyright Act and must be reported to the responsible district court. Only the fastest possible payment of a fine of $400.88 euros can prevent this. We expect payment within the next 48 hours. For details, see the attached documents. That zip. It's the zip file at the end that should tip users off. Never open a file from anyone you don't recognize. And I don't agree with that even, because even somebody that you do recognize, you have to make sure that they actually sent it to you and that somebody did not get their address book and sent it to you. Even if it does say you're breaking the law, also don't pirate media. But this is, again, something that a lot of people will open and say, let me see. I don't remember doing anything. Let me click on it and see what's in there. Now, hopefully, a good antivirus will catch it. I'm not about to test anything like that, especially not on my XP machine. But, yeah, do not open anything unless you know who it came from and you know that they meant to send it to you. One of the worst way of people hackers doing this is when they get a address book from Yahoo or any place that online that you don't have a good password for, and then they send this type of emails to the people in the address book, knowing that these people will see, oh, it came from Amnon. It must be okay. Well, not really. So this is they get you. They know how to get you to do things sometimes without thinking. And the other day, I was really getting ready to call GoDaddy and give it to him. Julie decided to move her blog to GoDaddy because her brother is going to manage it for her, and he's got an account there, and it's a lot easier for him. I don't know why, but it's fine. So they say, you know what? I'm going to wait with that until Nick comes back because it involves WordPerfect. But there's Nick. Nick, I started saying that I had a situation this week when I was going to give it to GoDaddy. Julie decided to move her WordPress site over there for her brother to manage it for her. And they will not transfer it because the admin username was admin. They say, no, you have to change it. We can't use admin. Okay. Now, that's a good reason not to have admin, is because if you use admin, you give a hacker half the thing already. So, but back when we did it like 2 years ago, that's how it was. Today, if there's a new WordPress somebody installs, I tell them don't use admin, use something else. But they will not transfer it because of the admin username. But the password was a dictionary word.
Yeah, that's very common.
That's fine. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bring it over. But admin, no, you can't do that. Ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. They're trying to protect their ass when the hacker comes in and starts injecting malware on the WordPress site. That's
I understand, but if the password for that ID is a dictionary word, very common word. I don't want to
there's a lot of services that do not allow you to use dictionary words.
Well, they would. Did you understand what I just said?
No,
The
you just said that
username, the login is admin, and the password is a very simple dictionary word. They will not allow you to take it over there with the word admin as the username. But if the password is very simple, yeah, there's no problem with that.
Okay.
You're
You're telling me they have no password protection? No, you can make your password one letter and it would be fine.
It's ridiculous. Yes.
Well, no, that's not the case. I signed up for a GoDaddy account. It has to have a capital. Actually, yes. Let me see.
Well, they did
My
not
GoDaddy
have.
password has to have a capital letter, numbers, and lowercase letters. So
She had me on the phone with them. We had a conference, and the guy was saying it's the admin. You need to go in there and change it. And I said, well, I don't know how to change it. The only thing I can think of is create a new one and remove that one. But what about the password? Do you know what her password is? He said, yeah, she gave it to me. I said, and that's okay with you? She said, well, if that's what she wants. And dang, what are you talking about? So that's transferring something, not creating a new one. So maybe if you create one over there.
I'm sure the guy probably had no clue what he was talking about.
No.
So that's the problem.
That was
It's fine. Let her site get hacked.
a what?
Say that, and then her site will get hacked, and WordPress
Yeah,
is very vulnerable.
right.
So it's fine.
Well, it's almost the end, so I'm not going to get into anything else.
Why?
I don't know.
What, do we have a time limit?
No, but I mean, I thought maybe you guys. It says that you remember the problem you had with PayPal and transferring money, and they're holding the money and all that. We always talked about that. How they can come 2 months later and take the money away from you.
Yep.
Well, PayPal.
Well, that's not a transferring problem. Don't let that.
Yeah, this one here is about transfer. It says PayPal has announced a new next-day settlement service
Now they'll take my money even quicker.
that allows eligible businesses to transfer money from their PayPal account to their bank accounts within 24 hours.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. They can still take it.
Yeah, afterwards, sure.
Yeah, it currently
As long
takes
as you
me,
have it.
Takes me. What do you mean if you don't have it?
I mean, if you have $1,000 in there, and you're transferring $1,000 to your bank,
They will transfer it back out of your account.
do they have a way to do that?
Of course. And then if PayPal thinks you're doing fraudulent stuff, they will. I'm sure that they will have no problem being able to get the money back.
Well, I mean, obviously they said to eligible businesses, so I guess you have to have some prior.
But an eligible business probably shouldn't be using PayPal. So
It says the pilot program is only available in the U.S. for now, and PayPal is a little cagey on what it means by eligible businesses. However, it does say that if your business qualifies for the program, you will already have been notified. Traditionally, PayPal takes 3 to 4 business days to fully transfer funds from a merchant account to their bank, as it uses an electronic network called Automated Clearinghouse to shift groups of transactions between institutions. So I guess it's just a way for them to say, hey, we got something new.
I guess.
And
I think I'm going to do on the radar this week. I'm not sure yet.
Why?
I don't know. Good question.
you are not doing?
I said I might or might not. I have no clue yet.
No, you should do it.
Well, I might.
You might get on Twit one day.
Yeah.
If he goes to Twit, he will be. I mean, what would, what's his name? Gizwiz?
Dick DeBartolo.
Dick, what would he do if Andrew was not there? He didn't have anybody.
Just sit there and talk to the chat
Yeah.
room.
Right.
I mean, that's not even a really formatic show, is it, Nick?
Oh, I'm sorry. Tim's just sent me a private message. He made a little video about this, how to do instant replay. So hold on a minute. What were you asking me?
Is the GizWiz, is that a
Well, he wasn't on the GizWiz. He was on the GizFizz.
What's the
GizFizz,
difference?
whatever?
One is a show about gadgets. The other one is like a 15-minute interview.
Do they even podcast the Giz Fizz?
I honestly don't. I honestly don't have a clue. I don't think they do, but I have the recording, so I'll send it to Andrew, and he'll probably upload it.
Oh, so there's a GizWiz and a GizFizz.
Yeah,
And
because it
how
was
did
just
you-
impromptu.
How did you capture it?
Bandicam, which is just a screen capturing software.
Mm-hmm.
So the recent arrival of Golden Labrador Thoreau makes Rhode Island the second state in the nation to have a police dog trained to sniff out hard drives, thumb drives, and other technological gadgets that could contain child pornography. Thoreau received 22 weeks of training in how to detect devices in exchange for food at the Connecticut State Police Training Academy. Given to the state police by the Connecticut State Police, the dog assisted in its first search warrant in June, pinpointing a thumb drive containing child pornography hidden 4 layers inside in a tin box inside a metal cabinet. That discovery led the police to secure an arrest warrant. If it has a memory card, he'll sniff it out. And that's sniff out memory. I'd like some Sims bacon flavor. You were saying, Mike, I'm sorry.
No, I was saying it is 12 o'clock. Do you know where
Yes,
your
it is.
parents are?
Yes, it is. It's time to go work outside.
Or not?
Yeah, it is. I think I'm going to go and stain that bench today. It's a nice day.
It is.
He'll probably
So
take.
Tim's just sent me a video privately, and what he is doing, which kind of does what I was going to try to do with the TriCaster, so he starts a recording and he adds the recording as a file, and you're playing back the recording while it's recording.
So keep talking with Tim and.
Yeah, the only thing I'm not sure about is if you're recording a record. That gets interesting. So the problem is you can't record anything while you're doing a replay.
I would take it a little farther with him because after last week, I mean, Tim knows his stuff and he's been listening to what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And if he's telling you something, he probably has a way. It may not be.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely possible. There's
Understood.
definitely, and I think Xfoot's probably the best way to do it. I already have a license for it, and if I didn't, it's very inexpensive to get one.
Yeah.
So thank you, Tim's. I will give this a try today with hopefully there's some sporting event on that I can try to record from my capture card. That'll be interesting.
Anyway.
All right, let me make sure I bookmark this video. Add 2 favorites.
Just make sure that you have maybe his email, phone number, or something.
Oh, next week.
'cause-
I'll be here next week. It's not getting done. It's not getting done anytime soon.
Oh, Okay.
So I mean, I still have to propose the idea, but I want to have everything answered so that we can get the ball rolling as quick as possible. So I can say, all right, we need this, we need a few computers, we need some monitors, cables, all that stuff, and then hopefully get a sponsor on board to pay for it.
Local car dealer.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was gonna go. And I think my key to the to getting it happen is just to give like 75% of the money to the booster club or whatever.
Yeah, and you need to have a growth fund in there. You need to save some of the money for that purpose. I do 50-50.
You think 50-50?
Yeah, that's plenty fine.
Now, I also had this other thing, which is just quick, and then we can end. I wonder if I should start up get like a name for it that doesn't necessarily link it to my high school directly. If this is something that works out really well, other schools may want this. But I'm not sure how that would work since I'm using the school's equipment to start.
Correct. And how, I mean,
that's kind of like a tricky situation, right? Because you're raising money from
2 games at one time.
Well, I wouldn't be able to do 2 games at one time, but it could get to the point where you have a second team of people doing a game at another school.
In the same community?
Yeah, in the same. Yeah, it would all be local to start, but like who knows?
Well,
I'm talking like business wise here. Like,
yeah, take the technical side of things, but look at the sales aspect of that. You would be setting up like a local sports network, and whenever you go out and get an advertiser to spend money, say you get X number of spots on each of 4 different games. So you don't have to buy each one, you just buy a network buy, and you get distribution across all 4 networks.
The only I'm not sure how that would work with the school though. If we're taking so I do a 50-50 split, right? Do I own any of the equipment, or does the school own the equipment?
Well, that's irrelevant. If they'll let you use it for the 50% split, then that's fine.
But now what happens when I need to go to another school?
Well, I mean, the school may let you do that. They may not let you do that. How much? I mean, other than the TriCaster, what's the big deal?
Well, you need one beefy computer for encoding and recording.
Okay.
And then software.
Okay. So, I mean, if you had $10,000, you could put the whole system together.
I would need less than $10,000 to do it.
Why do you think that the school will own, quote unquote, any part of it?
I'm trying to figure out, like, I think that something like this could be, like, no, I don't think any high schools do this with their, I'm sure a few do, but I don't think any, like, I don't know, this is going to sound really cocky. This is going to sound really cocky, but I've got, like, I'm not sitting here to just barely put together a broadcast. Like, I'm looking at, like, $100 graphic packs with video overlay, and I'm trying to put together a legitimate
What you're trying to say is you want to do something that's much better quality than is already out there.
Exactly. And I think that this could be something that other high schools and other colleges, minor league baseball teams, whatever, could possibly be interested in.
Okay.
And I would agree, but there's one caveat, Nick.
Okay.
And I'm not just saying this to patronize you, but unless they've got a Nick who's going to take it to heart, it will not be high quality.
But if I start a quote-unquote, like I'm not said, a network, or you said a network of people that know their shit and know what they're doing.
Stuff.
And stuff, and I can train and say, all right, this is how we're going to do this. I think this could be like a business thing.
Well, okay, and maybe so, and I'm not to discourage you, but it all has to be done on a local basis. If your
of course.
Local merchants are supportive and willing to put money up because they can get a return on their investments, then yes, you can make it happen. I will tell you that the car dealer that is located within 2 miles of your house has 10 salespeople a day coming in to ask him to spend money. So you've got to have a really good sales pitch. It's got to be solid. The product has to be good. It's not going. I don't want you to think it's a cakewalk. It's not. But anything worth doing is going to be difficult most of the time.
Yeah. So that's where I have this weird problem with. If I start with the school's equipment, if I come up with a name and create a network, like whatever, like local sports, local high school sport, whatever I come up with, right? And I start with just my high school. How does I don't know how that's going to work with the equipment. If the high school 3.5 miles away says, "Hey, we want our games. We want a game on Saturday morning, live streamed and all that other stuff."
Well,
if the school owns the equipment and I don't own the equipment, I'm screwed.
It's easy. Whenever you're putting it together, let's assume things go as smoothly as you hope, that when you're putting it together and you go pitch it to the school, say, I propose to you a 50% revenue split. For that, you don't have to do anything, and in exchange, I will produce the programming, deliver it, but in also exchange, I would like to be able to use the equipment for other stations to do the other schools in the community.
Yeah, and if I'm doing a 50-50 split, I guess technically I'd own the stuff. Because if I'm doing all the work for it, how would the school own it, right?
They would. Well, you're talking about who would own the content?
No, I'm talking about who would own the equipment.
Well,
so I buy a $700 desktop from the advertiser that I got. I own that, or the school owns that.
That depends on how you put the deal together. That's up to you.
Because I think that's that's what I'd like to do.
Tim saying go to the local cable TV station.
I called them yesterday. Yeah.
And as far as them putting it on the cable system, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But some of these cable companies are getting fairly sophisticated in their remote broadcasting equipment too, and there may be some options there.
Well, Time Warner already does local sports games.
Then what's your benefit?
They don't do it every week. They don't do every school every week. They might do my high school. Let's say I don't know how many games.
They randomly pick a school.
Let's say they play. No, they pick the good matches. Like my high school football team is pretty good. So when my school plays another good school, like they may come and cover. But out of 15, let's say there's 15 games this season, they may do 2. They always do 1, but they may do 2. So talking for more of a, like, obviously when they want to do the game, I'd get shut out, as I should. But for the other 14 or 13 games,
does every school have a TriCaster?
No, but that's why I'm talking about. If I own the equipment, it doesn't matter if they have a
Right.
TriCaster. I just bring it all.
Well, you can get Stevens TC40.
Well, we have a TC40, but that's...
I understand, but that's if you can't use theirs beyond their use. If there's some moron politician who says that that's improper use of their equipment, then you can get Stevens.
And then the other thing was maybe I just break down and invest in all the equipment myself.
Well, there you go.
And you know what I could do, Mike? I go get a credit card.
There you go.
I buy it all on a credit card.
Fix 64 equal monthly payments, and it's all yours.
What's the highest interest I could possibly get?
28%.
It works for me.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
$44,000 for a $5,000 piece of equipment.
That's fine.
Let me tell you something. There are a lot of people who are making a living using VidBlaster for that purpose solely, for sports.
Yeah.
And I remember there was one, I can't remember his name.
Tom Sinclair does it.
Well, Tom doesn't do that anymore.
He used to.
Yeah.
He's not doing those soccer games?
I don't think he goes out like that. There are other people that do that. He's more like now into building it, and
I should probably contact.
But it's not expensive, and you do the whole thing with one computer, and they go out there with their computer and with their cameras, and they are doing it for different schools. And how to communicate with the cameras. That is, one is on this side of the field and one. It's an art to it. I mean, it's not to do a podcast.
Yeah, and I think I think I've got a pretty good grip on how to produce that stuff.
Yeah, and I remember they were saying it did not cost them that much to do that.
Yeah, well, I'm not, but like I just said, I'm not looking to just do it. I'm looking to put together all right, this is Time Warner Cable with their $100,000 cable truck production. I could easily put that together. I am more than capable, and that sounding cocky.
How many cameras?
To start off, we'd have one main camera and then a secondary camera for the anchors when they're talking at the beginning, and just like a kiosk camera when they're not talking, and then you need one for the scoreboard to capture the clock.
So that's 4.
No, 3 cameras.
3 cameras.
3 cameras, yeah. And that you really only need 2. You need one. You really only need one for the field and then one for the clock. That's really all you need.
Not for the sportscasters?
No, that's not necessary. I mean, it would be cool to have, but you could always spin around the field camera for them and then go to a commercial. And
See
come
what
back
Brent
and
is telling you?
What is Brent telling me? You could go. Yeah, well, I could do it.
Why not? Actually, it's a good point. You probably could throw a hero in there somewhere.
I'm sure I could. Yeah, it's all possible. I haven't decided if I need to just get all the stuff myself or if I just start off with their stuff.
Well, I'll answer that question. I think you have to do what we call a proof of concept. I think you have to demonstrate what you can do. And that's why many businesses fail, because to be able to demonstrate their capability, you have to, it's a chicken and egg. You have to get everything put together so that you can get the deal to put everything together. That means that you have to go out and demonstrate that what you're doing is good and not just a bunch of little kids playing around with microphones and cameras.
Exactly, and that's and I think I'm more than capable of putting together I'm with me running the video switcher. It could be something that I could probably blow Time Warner's broadcast out of the water.
Well, I think you have to demonstrate that. Nobody's going to take your word for it.
Yeah, but I think maybe for the first I could just start off with their stuff, but I definitely need to come up with a name for a network and brand it as that, and then
right. Well, as far as spending money, I'm very cheap, and I don't think you should spend money until you are forced into it.
The only thing I'd have to buy is if I wanted to do this would be a domain, and that's it. I'd have to buy a $10 domain.
That's $2.
Yeah, that's all. That's if. Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure I could either get a sponsor or I could get them to help get it rolling with equipment. And we don't really need a whole lot. We've got the stuff.
And the sponsors want a commitment. They don't want you to just, we'll talk about it offline, but you actually probably ought to read a book on marketing in the meantime, because there are some tricks to it. There's some really good books out there on the topic of guerrilla marketing. And for those of you who don't know how to read, they even have audiobooks of it. But they're very good. It's called Guerrilla Marketing, and it's how to go out and market your business with no money.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I don't. If like a local car dealership or whatever, if it's a local high school, I think it would be a lot easier to get them on board with a local high school that's trying to do something than an event that's.
Right. But don't take that for granted.
No, I wouldn't.
So many times, and let me also give you one little secret that radio stations use. You find out what businesses the players' fathers operate.
I'm sorry, you say that again?
You find out what businesses the football players' fathers operate.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the quarterback's father.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it later. But I want to thank everybody in chat, Roger, Tim's, for everybody else that was posting suggestions. I appreciate it. And I guess I hope that this week I can talk to somebody and get the ball rolling somewhat.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for today, huh?
I guess so.
Mike, anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well, good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thank you, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9. But you can always reach us at computers2know.com. And while you're at it, like us on Facebook, subscribe and like our YouTube channel. Tune in tomorrow. I'm not sure which shows are. I know that we're going to have Breaking Free and Tanya. I'm not sure about Debbie. See you, everybody.
are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Health In with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, The Tanya Love Show, Reawaken Your Brilliance with Julie Seibert, and if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by Atomus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals. ThatVidBlasterGuy.com, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.